If you're listening to the replay of this live, be sure to punch that like and subscribe button and let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we go throughout the live.
Y'all, man, 2 cents be on point. Shit, she be on point, bro.
Appreciate it.
Blonde,
Appreciate
for real.
it.
We talking facts. Like, you the first one to say.
Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's live, we will be discussing Bivol versus Beterbiev controversy. Is Benavidez or Canelo next for the 175 undisputed? And is Terence Crawford dodging smoke at 154 pounds? But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we go throughout the live. What is up and what is going on? I know we are not on tonight at my normal time, but I had some things going on today. My son had a boxing tournament, so I had to push the time back a little bit. He performed okay at his tournament today, but he was not victorious. So we will be back in the lab next week working on some things. So he definitely will be ready for his next tournament. Let's see who we got in the building tonight. We got Ramon. What's going on, Ramon? We got Marque in the building. What's up? We got Jonathan Simon in the building. Appreciate it. You like the background. We got Zach in the building. Mr. Boxing Fanatic. What's going on? All things. What is up? Big Supreme in the building. What's going on, Big Supreme? What weight is my son? He fights at 119 pounds. We got Ambrose West in the building. What's going on? He said, I'm assuming bantamweight or featherweight. I don't know what that is, and he's an amateur, so I don't know if it's like no bantamweight or featherweight or nothing like that. An amateur, they got all these different weight classes. Supreme Cam, what up, Supreme? Supreme Cam in the building. How y'all doing tonight? How are y'all doing tonight? Now listen, I know I'm on late tonight. I know y'all been talking about Bivol and Beterbiev all day. I've been on and offline a little bit listening, but I wanted to talk about the controversy, give my 2 cents about it, and then I wanted to kind of talk about what would be next for Beterbiev. Will he take the rematch? Will Canelo or Benavidez get the winner of that rematch? Like, what will be next for them? Mr. Boxing Fanatic, he says, I learned something yesterday with Bivol and Arthur. Just because a fighter is known as a power puncher doesn't mean they can't outbox the boxer. Absolutely. And people been saying that. Like, listen, y'all think Beterbiev just coming out there just swinging and knocking people out? He got a little skill. He got a little skill. Big Supreme came on here Friday. He gave y'all a master class. He broke it down for y'all. He let y'all know. He put a stamp on it. I dropped some money on the fight. Now, I thought Beterbiev was going to get the KO. 100% knockout ratio, plus 600. I took the gamble. Wasn't able to get it. But it's all good. It's all good. It was a good fight. Some people want to say robbery, but you can't really call a fight that close a robbery. It could have went either way. It could have been a draw. I almost put a little bread on the draw. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. But Beterbiev was able to come out victorious. And I definitely would love to see a rematch. So, what rounds did y'all give Beterbiev in that fight? I gave him 5, 7. What was it? I think it was 5, 7, 9, and all the championship rounds. So I kind of had it a draw. If anything, he could have maybe got another one of those swing rounds in there. But towards the latter of the fight, it just looked like Bivol was worn down a little bit, man. He didn't do nothing in those championship rounds. I guess the power was getting to him. Big Supreme say he gave him 3, 5, 6, 7, and 10 through 12. Oh, I guess I would give him 3. I would give him 3. I could see him winning 3. All things say Beterbiev edged it out. He absolutely edged it out. All things say what Big Supreme said. Yeah, man, listen. Cam say he gave him 1, 3, 7, and 10 through 12. See, he got those championship rounds. The controversy come in, did he win? What are those earlier rounds did he win? I thought Beterbiev was going to step on the gas and get him out of there, man. But Bivol has a hell of a chin. Bivol is a hell of a boxer. I remember when he was fighting Canelo, I started looking up Bivol and looking at his fights, and I was like, man, this dude might be Canelo. This might be a cherry pick gone wrong. I didn't have a channel back then, but I definitely would have been like, this might be a cherry pick gone wrong for Canelo. And Canelo struggled with Bivol's boxing ability. Ambrose say there were one or two swing rounds. Yes, the problem with Bivol is if you run like that, you're gonna get tired. Meanwhile, Bev was conserving energy early in the fight. I actually thought Beterbiev was gonna gas out because I remember Big Supreme was on here like, hey, he got to get him out of there early. So when it was going into the later rounds, I was like, oh shoot, oh shoot, Bivol might step on the gas. But listen, they both looked in tremendous shape. Bivol was able to keep that movement for majority of the fight. It was a really, really good fight. Supreme said he never stepped on the gas like I thought he would. I mean, I thought he was gonna mash the gas, especially when Bivol tried to start exchanging with him and he started winning those exchanges. But he couldn't sit down on those punches because Bivol kept moving. So the movement did give him trouble, just like I thought it would. But Bivol just wasn't able to. I mean, Beterbiev wasn't able to just sit down on nothing. And Bivol came in with some of those exchanges, and he got Beterbiev with a lot of those shots in the beginning of the fight. But later on in the fight, he started losing those exchanges. Marcus say one scorecard is what had people crying about the results. Yeah, I think it was that 116 to 112. People like, what? 8-4? How is that even possible? Says Loki, I think Beterbiev took it easy on Bivol. You think he took it easy or he couldn't? I think the movement is what made it look like that. I don't think Beterbiev has fought anybody with that type of footwork. And I think that that lateral movement was killing him. Bivol was able to stay off the ropes a lot. So he wasn't able to just sit down on nothing and catch him with nothing. He kept trying to throw that overhand right and get him, but he kept missing. Says Bivol was rolling with the punches that was also tiring for Bev. And he was missing a lot of shots. And, you know, when power punches miss shots, that kind of take a lot out of him. Supreme Cam say, I don't think he could fight him like he wanted to. Yeah, I don't think he could fight him like he wanted to. Somebody say, play that video 2 cents. Okay, hold on. You send me a video? Hold on, because I can't really click on it from the StreamYard. Give me a second. Let me try to pull it up. I did not see the undercard. Like I said, I was at a tournament with my son. But what happened to Ben Whitaker? I just see the clip, him and the dude. I don't know if the dude pushed him out the ring or if he pulled the dude out the ring and then he in a wheelchair. What did he hurt his back? Did he hurt his leg? What was that about? What was that about? Is Ben Whitaker finally putting him in there with somebody? Because listen, if it's anything Turkey gonna do, he gonna get you in there with some competition. And I feel like I got a bone to pick with Eddie Hearn because, like I mentioned in my last live, he talking about he putting his fighters in 90-10 fights. What you wanted me to show on this, Big Supreme? What up, Teach? We got Teach in the building. What's going on, Teach? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to multitask. Let me see what it was that he wanted me to play. Let me share my screen right quick. Let me share my screen. All right. All right, here we go. This what you wanted me to pull up, Big Supreme? Let me see.
And he's punishing Beterbiev, who lands a good overhand right. And that's all Beterbiev needs is one shot to get his confidence going and put you backwards. And this is where he has Bivol here.
You see how Bivol doing all that moving? He can't sit down on that.
All he needs is one. Again, this is where you got to stay strong and stay tough.
Them
right here, you being Bivol. Do the right thing.
Oh, another one.
That's a great liver shot from Archer
Bell. He punching straight through that guard.
And he's punishing Beterbiev, who lands a good overhand right. And that's all Beterbiev needs is one shot to get his confidence going and put you backwards. And this is where he has Bivol here.
10 rounds.
Or
11 rounds.
Them body shots was killing him. It looked like his legs gave out on him.
Stay strong and stay tough. Right here, you being Bivol. Do the right.
All right, what's this?
Continues to move, continues to fire punches back. Russell's having a better round right now, but there he goes.
I don't think you want me to play that one. That's Russell and Puello. Okay. Beterbiev, that's hilarious. Isn't built to take it easy on anybody. Everybody tell your opinion. Beterbiev was consistent with his pressure style. Bivol box nice though, can't lie. Man, Bivol can box. Bivol is nice, man. Bivol did improve his lateral movement. Hell of a lot for this fight. That's for damn sure. Biv had to follow him around for the first half of the fight. And you know what? This is what me and Big Supreme was talking about. How well will Beterbiev be able to cut off the ring? And I really think that the knee surgery or coming off that knee surgery, coming off that long layoff, I think that played a part in this fight. But he did not look too rusty in the fight. Teach, what's going on? Says Ben Whitaker is a hype job. Oh, they didn't gave the man a nickname. He was about to get stopped. Ben Whitaker was about to get stopped. Come on, Big Supreme. I gotta look that fight up. Was he in there doing all that drunken master stuff? It wasn't working. Says laugh out loud. He hurt his bitch bone. Oh man, I had to look that up. Not Ben Whitaker. That's crazy. Dragon Assassin in the building. What's going on? We got Sadiq Brown in the building. He says, was that a Bivol type fight or a Beterbiev type fight? My 2 cents is Bivol did what he wanted to do and Beterbiev couldn't do what he wanted to do. Okay. Says, tell me that don't look like mercy. Says Dragon Assassin. Says Arthur not loading up. He could. I mean, I feel like it's because Bivol kept moving. He couldn't load up. And when he did load up on the shots, he missed. Bivol was able to roll, you know what I'm saying? Get out the way. You know, Beterbiev looked a little slow. I don't know if it was the rust or the age, right? We got a question. Was it the rust or was it the age? Beterbiev is like, damn, what, 39, 40 years old? He is 40 years old. Somebody said that video was edited like a mofo. I think it was just like some highlights or something. I don't think it was. Teach, that's 10 to 12. Oh, them the championship rounds when Bivol was getting pummeled. He was punching straight through Bivol's guard. Says, I get what the video's saying, but Bivol ain't have enough punching power. Puello had enough punching power to hurt Gary. Says Bivol should have sent more combos earlier. Yeah, but he didn't want to get caught trying to exchange with Beterbiev. I felt like he was taking a risk coming in and doing that. I was like, "Ooh, I thought Beterbiev was gonna catch him with one of them right hands coming in trying to exchange like that." If Black Bivol get a little too overzealous, he'll be out of there. But Bivol's chin was immaculate. Says, I know he moved a lot in the champ rounds, but he threw his hands sometimes. It wasn't enough though, Teach. He was just kind of throwing them out there like, get off me. You know what I'm saying? Like, get away from me. Like, get away from me. Says Bivol is Beterbiev little man. They was on the same Olympic team. From my understanding, Bivol used to kill Beterbiev used to kill Bivol in sparring, so they just knew it was about to be a knockout. But you gotta wonder if the rust, the layoff, and the knee injury, how much of effect that had on the fight. And what would the rematch look like? My 2 cents, I think Beterbiev will stop Bivol in the rematch, but I don't know. I really don't know. Bivol also mentioned that knee in the post-fight interview. Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up. Says Liam Cameron, he was punching Whitaker head off. Another Liam. Why everybody in the UK named Liam? Liam Smith. Liam. Like, is that like a popular, like a main name people use out there? Liam. Says Bivol just offset what Beterbiev does. Beterbiev couldn't do what he usually does with Bivol. Absolutely. And you know, usually, I'm not gonna lie, usually when the fighter is not able to do what they normally do, they don't win the fight. We seen what happened with the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Like, they called it a draw, and I felt like that was because Deontay Wilder didn't knock him out. So, you know, you think Beterbiev got 100% knockout ratio. Everybody was like, oh, he need a knockout to win, which is why I put my money on the knockout. The man ain't never won a fight by decision. So you thinking if it go to decision, Bivol gonna win. That was my thinking. Says facts, Bivol controlled the fight. Bivol was on his back foot. I felt like Beterbiev was applying a lot of the pressure and being more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Boxing Fanatic, what was the outcome of the Whitaker fight? Was it like a no contest, or what round was that in? I missed the fight. I'm gonna have to look it up and go back and watch it. Says that's the point of boxing. I'm going to take away your advantages. Absolutely. Ak Busy in the building. What's going on, Ak Busy? What is going on? Says he didn't throw nothing. Says he was about to at Mr. Boxer. Everybody saying Ben Whitaker was finna lose to Liam. I gotta see this. Because usually Ben Whitaker be in there styling on him with his drunken master style. He be in there styling on him. Says none of them could fight each other like how they wanted to. That's true. That's true. Beterbiev fasted for 3 days. He fasted, Big Supreme. Beterbiev fasted for 3 days before the fight so he could make the weight. That ain't no good, man. You can't be fasting before no fight. You're going to be weak in there. Beterbiev made Bivol fight a fight he didn't want to fight. A fight in the trenches. He wasn't too in the trenches. Says Bivol gassed out by the 9th round. He still was moving, though. For him to be gassed out, he still was moving. Dragon Assassin say Whitaker knew he was about to lose, so he leaned over the ropes and quit. But when the clip I seen, the dude looked like he was pushing him over the ropes. I was probably like, man, Ben Whitaker done frustrated this dude, so he just done tossed him out the ring. Kind of like how what's old dude name? What's the dude name with the lip gloss on in his promo videos? Oh, Montana Love. Remember how Montana Love threw old dude out the ring because he was getting beat up? Liam Walsh. Let's see what we got. So, my next question is, what do y'all think is next? Do you think they will do an immediate rematch? Because like Big Supreme so eloquently pointed out on Friday, usually when Beterbiev got a fight, it's an injury that come up somehow, and then the fight got to be pushed back and all of that. Do you think that there will be an immediate rematch with Beterbiev and Bivol? Do you think they want to fight each other again? Now, publicly, they both agreed. I seen an interview with Eddie Hearn. He was in an uproar. He was really upset about the decision. And that's another reason why I bet against Bivol, just based off the simple fact that he's with Eddie Hearn. And for whatever reason, Eddie Hearn fighters keep losing, bro. Like, what is up with Eddie Hearn and his fighters? Why do they keep losing? Some people say it's because he over there messing with Turkey and they not doing no matchmaking. They throwing people in the ring. Then I heard Eddie Hearn say he putting his fighters in 90-10 fights. And I just don't think that that's a good look for a promoter. Like, how do I know you're not throwing me away to the wolves, Eddie? Don't put me in no 90-10 fight. I mean, you literally signing me up for a fight just to lose. Says, well, Big Supreme, you want to look at the CompuBox from rounds 10 through 12. Who you talking about, Big Supreme? I believe the back foot was the game plan. Ambrose West say it was a draw. I mean, it could have been a draw. It could have been Bivol. The fight literally could have went either way. I think it would have been better for them to score the fight as a draw, and then we could have just came back with the rematch. I think it should have been. I'm definitely going to drop the link, Big Supreme, in just a few minutes. Oh, they made the Ben fight a draw. So the rounds was even. What round did he fall out the ring? The 10th round? The rounds was even when he fell out the ring? He was getting punched on. I have to look this up and see this. I ain't never seen Ben Whitaker getting punched on. I ain't never seen him getting punched on. Do y'all think that Canelo will go fight Beterbiev? Because he was talking that hot big boy, he'll fight Bivol if Bivol win and woo, woo, woo. I didn't hear him mention Beterbiev name, but I mean, he might have seen something like, oh, he looked like he slowed down a bit. You know, his movement wasn't looking that good. Even though Canelo not moving like Bivol in there. They gonna stand in there and fight. But Canelo do have good head movement. So maybe the head movement to give Beterbiev some trouble. What y'all think? How can Bivol have thrown nothing if the punch stats differ by 4 punches? Stop it. Everybody keeps saying Ben Whitaker pulled him over the ropes. Sadiq Brown say Bivol got robbed. They don't ask in the ring interview, are you surprised about the results? Unless it's surprising that you lost and the crowd don't yell the loser's name throughout the fight. The crowd was Bivol, Bivol, Bivol. I think the crowd was hyping Bivol up a little bit. It says Beeve is just a shaven bear. You can't punch on a bear and expect the bear to get hurt. Do y'all think Beterbiev was hurt in that fight? Because he took some shots. Teach say immediately rematch. I don't want an in-between fight. They can't have no in-between fight. They need to hurry up and fight each other before one of these sanctioning bodies try to strip one of them belts, because you know they will. Big Supreme say Frank Turkey is really Frank Warren is really Turkey man. That's what it seemed like, right? Because Frank Warren fighters is smashing Eddie Hearn fighters. I mean, the 5 for 5, like it's like listen, if you're a fighter out there and you can hear my voice, be careful signing with Eddie Hearn, because it doesn't seem like he's having his fighters' best interests. I mean, I know they on this whole, we want to make good fights and we want to make 50-50 fights, but I believe that there has to be a delicate balance with that. You get what I'm saying? Don't put me in no 90-10 fight if I'm one of your quote unquote, top star fighters, or you know what I'm saying? Don't do me like that. Why are 50-50 fights bad though? 2 cents, that's what we want. I'm not saying that the 50-50 fights are bad, Teach. What I'm saying is, as a promoter, and you on a 15 fight losing streak with your fighters. I'm talking about just overall. Why is it that the 50-50 fights, Eddie Hearn fighters the only ones losing though? That's what I'm saying. Why are Eddie Hearn fighters the only ones losing? Says this rematch will be Biv's swan song. He could retire after that. I mean, yeah, but Beterbiev only got 20 fights, 21 fights now. I mean, I guess he started late. He a little older. He say, nah, Canelo turned down Beterbiev already. Mr. Boxing Fanatic say Canelo gonna get knocked off out if he go in there fooling with Beterbiev. Hopefully Canelo give us, one more big fight, tough fight. And listen, my 2 cents on Canelo. I don't have a problem with Canelo, quote unquote, cherry picking or doing what he doing in the latter of his career. Just drop the belts. If you want to fight for entertainment purposes, if you want to fight, for your money and this and that, just drop the belts so other people in the division can have an opportunity to fight for those belts. Benavidez deserved an opportunity to fight for the belts. Yeah, I know he had a belt and he lost it on the scale. I mean, on the scale or whatever. He lost it because of the drug test, whatever the case may be. But drop the belts, Canelo. You don't need the belts anymore. Like, your legacy is cemented. It's sealed. You good, bro. You good. You good. I feel confident saying Beterbiev, KO, Canelo. Why would he be willing to fight Bivol, but he not willing to fight Beterbiev? Is Beterbiev too big for him? Okay, so what do y'all think? First of all, what do y'all think about the Benavidez-Morrell fight? And what would y'all think about a Benavidez-Beterbiev fight? My 2 cents on the Benavidez-Morrell fight, I know so many people been calling for this fight and they've been asking for this fight, but my 2 cents after seeing Morrell at 175 in his last fight, I honestly think that it's too early. He only got 11 fights. I think he needs to get some more fights under his belt. He's been knocking everybody out. You know what I'm saying? I really think he needs to get some more fights under his belt. He needs to get more fights in at 175 before he try to jump in there with Benavidez. Even though, I mean, Benavidez looked decent in his fight at 175. He was injured, so he didn't look the greatest. But I just think it's too early for the Morrell fight. But people calling for the fight, people want to see the fight. So cool, make the fight. I just think it's too early, and we should let Morrell be able to get a lot more time and experience under his belt. And I understand people like, oh, I want to see these 50-50 fights. People waiting too late. I don't want to see them later in their career. And I get that. But you got to understand, when people are building these fighters, they look good. They looking great. They being built. They not fighting the top best competition on their way up. So I know you like, oh, I want to see the fight, but I would hate for it to get to the fight and then the fight is not as competitive or as one-sided because we want to see these fights a little too early. Now, don't get me wrong, don't wait another 5 years before you fight, but just get some experience, get some top names under your belt before you just rushing in there. Benavidez done fought Caleb Plant. You know what I'm saying? He done fought Caleb Plant. He didn't fought, who else did Benavidez fight? He didn't fought Bivol Andrade. Like, he got some names under his belt. He got some tough fights under his belt. He got some competition under his belt. That's my only issue with the Morrell Benavidez fight. So if he is victorious, if Benavidez is victorious in the Morrell fight, let's say they have a rematch, Bivol and Beterbiev wins. How do you all see that fight going? Or even how would you see Benavidez and Bivol? Now, I could say that I could see Bivol definitely outboxing Benavidez. But the volume, the size may give Bivol trouble. Laugh out loud. Man, motherfuckers was saying Bivol got robbed. Most close fights are not robbery. You can't have a close fight and a robbery. It's either a close fight or it's a robbery. My 2 cents. He said Eddie Solis sold a turkey. Sadiq Brown say even BB Corner was saying you need a KO to win. They was saying that. Somebody say you age quicker in the lower weight classes. Why is that? Frank Warren suspect low-key belt snatching. Yeah, Frank Warren over there doing it big. Says because they are getting beaten clearly, except for this last fight. Canelo gets washed by either of them at 175. Yeah, I think Canelo might be pushing it at 175. He might be a little too small for 175. But I did see an interview with Bivol, and he said, he was comparing Beterbiev's power to Canelo's power. And he was just saying, basically, I felt like what he was saying was Canelo load up on all his shots. Beterbiev don't load up on all his shots, even though Beterbiev shots are powerful and they do hurt. But Bivol was able to keep that high guard up all night. And I mean, he blacked his own eye basically because he was like, I had my guard up and Beterbiev was just punching my guard and it was making me hit myself in the eye. Says, I don't think nobody can beat Canelo at 168. We'll never know. We'll never know. We will never know. It says, don't get fooled by that 2 cents. Don't get fooled by what? Hold on. Let me drop this link real quick. And let me pin it to the top of the chat because it's late tonight. I ain't going to be on here too much longer. But I do want to get to this Terence Crawford conversation. Omega Red in the building. What's going on, Omega Red? Link pinned to the top of the chat. You can come up here and drop your 2 cents. Says Benavidez will beat Morrell. I think Benavidez will beat Morrell. Morrell power wasn't popping like that at 175 with the last guy he fought. You know what I'm saying? His power wasn't popping like that. We got Big Supreme and Dragon Assassin in the building. Thank y'all for joining me on this late night live on a Sunday. How are y'all doing today?
All good, Queen. All good. Just come up here to acknowledge Big Supreme, Ant McQueen, Dean by any means, and just say like they got it correct with Beterbiev, and I just like acknowledging them and saying like respect for the call and fair play to them for getting a good call. So yeah, shout outs to them.
I mean, it was a tough fight to bet on, though. I mean, it really was. And at one point, Big Supreme, when you was like bet the money line, when I went to go place my bet, the money line was even. Big Supreme, you there? What's going on, Paid in Full? What you got for the show?
Yo,
Hello?
paid in full.
What up, Big Supreme? What you got for the show?
Oh, so basically, all right, so this is my thing, right? You look at both of their fights at 175. You look at Gozvic and you look at Hot Rod. The reason why I'm not buying into the hype that Morrell can't beat Benavidez and people saying it's too soon, this is my thing with Gozvic, right? He fought Beterbiev. They went 10 rounds. Beterbiev knocked him out. He retired for 4 years. He was in the hospital. He was banged up pretty bad. He came back early this year. He had like 2 tune-ups, and then he got back in the ring with Benavidez. Benavidez went the whole 12 with him. In my opinion, he looks worse than the Hot Rod fight, in my opinion. And the reason why I say is because, one, he's 37, Hot Rod is 33. Hot Rod just knocked out Sullivan Barrera. If you know who Sullivan Barrera is, he fought Bivol, he fought Joe Smith, he fought Andre Ward. I think he was champion as well, too. So he was a very good fighter. A Hot Rod fought Beterbiev. He fought Marcus Brown, arguably beat him. Marcus Brown got a split decision, even though Hot Rod knocked him down like 4 times in that fight. And I just feel like Morrell, when you look at the fight with him and Boo Boo, he was having a lot of success until he gassed. But he's too small. He's a natural 154-pounder. He moved up to 168. He gained a whole bunch of weight. He was gassed in the middle of the fight, and he decided to quit before it got really bad for him, which I understand because he felt like, you know what, it's not competitive. It's not going to get any better. So he decided to retire. So I don't think that's a good measurement stick for why Morrell can't have success. Because one, Morrell's 6'2". He has like a 78-inch arm reach. He's 2 years younger. Hold on. So he's 2 years younger, and he hits way harder than Boo Boo. Another thing too, right? I see people say, "Well,
That's true. That's true.
Beterbiev been knocked down. He got knocked down by Caleb Johnson and a dude named I forgot the other Jeff Page." So now it was like a foot positioning thing. He never was in trouble. He never was hurt. He never was wobbly and none of that. And in the next round, he stopped those dudes anyway. Now my second part, Benavidez got knocked down by Ronald Gaville. A lot of people don't know that Benavidez was at 175 and he was at cruiserweight at one point when he was younger. He went down to 175. He had to fight with Ronald Gaville. He didn't look good. He got knocked down, got a split decision. They fought again. It was another hard-fought unanimous decision, and that's when he went back down to 168. The only reason why he's moving up to 175 because he's not going to get the Canelo fight. He's not going to get a belt. So he said, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to move up. So I don't think it's
Plus he need to move up. He getting too big for 168.
He's getting too big, but the reason why he moved down because those dudes at 175, he wasn't knocking them out. He wasn't knocking them out. He wasn't ragdolling those dudes. He came back to 168. He fought David Lemieux, who was a 154-pounder. He fought Ronald Ellis, who's a 160-pounder. Boo Boo's the natural 154-pounder. So my thing is, yes, Benavidez could fight. In the Gosvick fight, he showed a lot of different wrinkles. He showed defense, head movement. He was a little slicker, but I don't think that's a good measurement stick for why Morrell can't beat him. I feel like Morrell hits way harder than Boo Boo, and if he catches Benavidez in between punches, he might sit him down. So
can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
now.
we can hear you.
Oh, my bad. My motherfucking mic was fucking up.
So that's my thing as far as
no, it's not that I don't think he can beat him. I just think that experience plays a lot in boxing. That's all I'm saying is that I think that can he overcome Benavidez' experience?
See, but you all right.
And his pop ain't look the same at 175 last fight.
You gotta think, right? Hot Rod has never been on the canvas, only to Beterbiev. Beterbiev knocks everybody out, so that's not a good measuring stick. Like I said, he fought Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown's at cruiserweight now. He fought Sullivan Barrera. This dude been in wars with all of the good to great elite 168, 175 pounders from Bivol to Ward. I think he fought Kovalev, Joe Smith. Like, this dude is not a slouch. He just knocked him out brutally on Pro Box earlier this year. So that's not a good measurement stick. Like, Hot Rod is a live dog. Like, I bet on the decision. The decision was like 700 for Morrell. I won a decent little bag on that. Because I'm like, wait, this dude never been knocked down except the Beterbiev. So I don't see Morrell doing him like that. Now, you got to remember, Morrell is only 26. This is his 10th fight. I think he exceeded what Benavidez did with Gosvick, in my opinion. And another thing with the experience, I feel like it's kind of even because Morrell has like 200 and something amateur fights. He's from Cuba. He fought Iglesias in the amateurs. He got a couple of gold medals at the Youth Olympics. Like, he has a lot of experience. And my thing is, he might see something in Benavidez that makes him feel confident he could beat him. That's just my opinion. Now, is it too early? I would say yes and no, but we got to stop the marinating. For example, right? I was up yesterday morning watching the Japanese fights, and this dude named Seiyu Tsutsumi, he just became champion in this 12th fight. Like, these dudes has become a champion in their 8th fight, their 9th fight, their 10th fight. They fighting dudes that been champion for 8 years in their 4th fight. So my thing is, why do we have to marinate fights to these dudes is 25-0 or 30-0? Like, for example, Zepeda, he's like 30-0. He's just started fighting champions now. That's crazy to me. So I felt like if these dudes is who they say they is, put them in there with a live dog and see what happens. It's sink or swim, in my opinion. Now, I get it. The American promoters is looking at, look, I'm investing a lot of money in this dude. I want to get a return. Right. So I'm going to, like, drag it out. But if Morrell's saying, look, I'm ready, I want the smoke, then get in there and get it popping.
Well, I don't think a loss to Benavidez will just kill his market value like that, you know, depending on how the fight looks. We got Teach up here. What's going on, Teach? Want to get your insight real quick. But I don't think it'll destroy his market value too much. But you know, you got to have a delicate kind of balance with the whole experience and market value thing, depending on the goals for the fighter and the promoter and kind of where they're going with it. You know what I'm saying? But if Benavidez and Morrell fight, will it be a championship fight? At least I feel like that fight should be a championship fight.
Nah, it is, because Morrell got the he got a belt up there. He got the WBA something up there. I think it's the regular.
At 175?
I believe so, because when he had
just
the belt
made Beterbiev undisputed.
Nah, but he got the regular, not the super. You remember how like Tank and Haney was champions in the same weight class?
Yeah,
it's like the same thing, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Because he had the 168 regular, and then he moved up, and then he got the 175 regular. Because I believe at the end of the fight they gave him the belt, and it was a 12-round fight, so I believe it was a championship fight.
I see what you're saying. That makes sense. We got Melvin Air Podcast in the building. What's going on, Melvin Air Podcast? Paid in full. What you got for the show?
Shit, I was just tapping in, man. I want to actually know what happened with that Ben Whitaker fight, because I'm like,
oh yeah, Big Supreme, what happened? Somebody tell me what happened.
All right, so this another thing too with boxing. Like, if we don't know the dude's names, or if we see their record and they got 3 or 4 losses, we think they like trash. So I believe Liam Cameron, he was like the Commonwealth champion. That's like when you see the dudes with the rainbow belt, the UK dudes. So the rainbow belt is like a WBC associated affiliated belt. So he was the Commonwealth champion for 175 over there. So he's obviously fought live dogs and defended the title. So I said, damn, if this dude, Ben Whitaker, is really the real deal, he should be able to get rid of this dude. So the first round, you know, Ben was landing some clean punches. Second round, same thing. But then Liam was like, yo, this dude don't got no pop on his punches. He just started walking them down. And he was having more success going to the body, landing left hooks, right hooks. And then you could see Ben.
Whitaker couldn't get out the way?
He couldn't get out the way. Wait till you see the fight, because it's only like 4 rounds. But
yeah, I'm gonna go and look at it after we get off tonight, man.
The third and fourth round, he started having some real success. And they was like, yo, damn, Ben looking like a deer in headlights. He's looking like he's hurt. And then that's when he did the backflip. Like, he tried to, like, you know, get it out of there.
Hey, smart man.
Nah, he was smart for that. I ain't gonna lie. I really think he was gonna knock him out. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I thought he
didn't do that. He was gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, that Liam's from Sheffield, and in Sheffield, like, there's a lot of tough white boxers from Sheffield. So Ben Whitaker was in trouble.
He definitely was in trouble.
Dragon, how big is Ben Whitaker out there?
He's popular they're pushing him at the moment. He's popular, but he's really cheesy, man. He's like,
He's a
I
cornball.
don't understand what the hype's about. Like a lot of the UK fans, they love him off out here. It's like, nah, he's cheesy.
I think he's a good, like he's a very good technical boxer, but his problem is he don't got no power.
He's got
That's
no
his
pop.
biggest problem.
Yeah, it's like that's what I keep saying. It's like if you look at Boots Ennis, he can showboat, but he can finish. Where Ben Whittaker, he just does a lot of showboating, but he can't finish his fighters. He's embarrassing.
Is
It's so
he
crazy.
an Olympic medalist? Because I would think with all the showboat
Silver.
he doing, his defense would be better.
got a silver medal.
Olympic medalist.
Yo, it's so crazy. I seen one fight. Yo, for decision for him was a plus 1,000. I forgot the white boy name, and I'm like, yo, I don't think he gonna knock him out. I won on that though, because I'm like, this dude don't got no punch like that. Like the way the better odds be sometimes, I'm like, yo, this dude don't got no concussive power, so I don't see why he's gonna knock this dude out in 8 rounds. And then I won, and I'm like, damn, this dude not really all that really for real. And then 175, them dudes is really banging. Like, so I don't see him going far, honestly.
I really thought his movement would get those fighters up there at 175 trouble, because I didn't even see no 175 pounders moving like that. And I was under the impression like, okay, his defense is probably solid the way he in there playing around like that. So
Yeah,
if
he got no pop though.
Yeah, he
like
got
when you
no
look at
pop.
Bivol fight, like I never seen, besides the Beterbiev fight, I never seen Bivol get walked down. So that tells me that he got some steam on his punches. Like then Whittaker, like this last fight, he just was walking through his shit. Like he just was walking toward him, slipping, landing shots to the body. I'm like, oh yeah, he about to get him out of there. And that's when he did the backflip.
So Whittaker got exposed. We got H Money in the building. What's going on?
Yo, H Money, mad funny.
It's the best light heavyweight ever.
I wouldn't say ever, but probably of this era. I wouldn't say ever, but probably of this era for sure.
We got 9 Fingers in the building. What's going on, 9 Fingers? So Ben Whittaker got exposed.
Yeah, big time.
And they're not about to put him in there. I think they're gonna rematch.
Hey,
likely.
I'm gonna just say I feel like Eddie sold his soul to Turkey, bro.
Man, I don't know what's going on with Eddie and Turkey Al-Sheikh. I heard Eddie saying now he can't even put on his own regular cards because all his fighters want to fight on the Turkey card. That's probably why they over there getting beat up.
Yeah.
I don't think Turkey likes that.
So what y'all think about, just switching gears here, what y'all think about the Terence Crawford, Earl Spence, Fundora fiasco going on right now? What's y'all 2 cents about that?
I feel like a lot of fucking politics is being played right now with that situation, because if for instance, like if he already turned down the fight, like what is the reason for trying to strip him? Like he don't want the fight. So it's like, bro, let that man move on, because if we look at the situation when they was involved with that, where him and Earl was involved, Earl let him move on because he was having eye surgery and all this shit. So, like, bro, let that man move on with his career, bro. You don't want the belt, so like, what is we chasing? Like, people be holding up divisions trying to hold on to belts and shit. Like,
wouldn't it make sense? Me too. Because wouldn't it make more sense if you only wanted the Canelo fighter, you gonna retire, you would drop that belt you already have?
This is my 2 cents on the situation, right? Me personally, people might disagree. I think he's using Canelo as a shield to duck Boots. That's just my opinion. Because if you look at the timeline with the Spence undisputed fight with Crawford, right? The IBF said, look, we all know the IBF is the first sanctioned body to strip the undisputed dudes. They strip Usyk, they strip Canelo. They're not playing with you. The only reason why they didn't strip anyway, because he defended it recently. So they're like, all right, we're going to let you live. But they told Crawford and Spence both, look, we're going to let y'all fight for undisputed, but the winner has to enter negotiations with Crawford, with Boots immediately. So they both agreed, I bet, look, whoever wins, we're going to enter negotiations. So when they won, Crawford, in a week, they sent in the letter, look, we need you to enter negotiations. We're going to schedule the fight, this and the third. Crawford reneged and declined the fight, and then he got stripped. So now everybody is calling Boots the email champion. He don't want to fight for his belt. All these other narratives they were saying with Boots, right? Then he told Crawford, he told Spence, fight me at 147 or no fight. Then you tell him Boots to come up to 154 or no fight. So that's a crazy double standard there. Then with Fundora, you put in a petition to the WBO saying, look, I want y'all dudes to strip him if he doesn't enter negotiations with me. So what he thought was Fundora was not going to take the fight and they was going to strip him. But then Fedora called his bluff and said, nah, we're going to enter negotiations and we're going to go to purse bid and see what happens. Crawford asked for an exemption and then he walked away. So to me, that means that his whole tactic was to get the WBO to strip Fundora without having to fight him for the belt. So you can't call Boots a email champion and then you're trying to use the same exact tactics. And if you really want to fight Canelo, like you said, why not go up there? If you want to fight Canelo, which makes more sense to me, you got Vladimir Shishkin and William Skull. William Skull is a 168-pounder. He's kind of undersized. He's not a big puncher. I'm not saying Crawford could beat him, but it will be a competitive fight. Now,
hold on. I'm gonna give my 2 cents, but let me let Teach go. What up, Teach? What you got for the show?
That makes no sense, Big Supreme, because you're putting, to get the Canelo fight, you're putting roadblocks in the way. And we already know that Turkey wants that fight for Bud. So there's not going to be any roadblock in the way. He could just move up and get the Canelo fight. Now, I have a suspicious feeling that's what's going to happen. Bud is going to get the Canelo fight, which is why he's not fighting Fundora right now. So
I don't think he's going to get that fight, bro.
I think he's going to.
I don't think he's going to get that fight either. But let me give y'all my 2 cents about the situation and y'all tell me what y'all think. First, let me clarify some things, because people think when I say Bud duck Fundora, they think I'm meaning like, oh, Bud scared of Fundora or something like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's a strategic duck. And let me explain what I mean. A couple weeks ago, somebody was like, listen, a very, 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 very reliable source, extremely close to the situation, said, hey, Bud and Fundora fighting, and I'm gonna be on the undercard or whatever the case may be. So then a little time go by, I'm like, what's up with the fight? And they like, I don't know, man. They having trouble with the negotiations. And I'm like, I thought it was set in stone. They was like, me too. So then they dropped the news. Okay, Spence and Fundora are gonna fight. Bud agreed to let them fight. And then you got people saying, oh, well, Bud did Spence a favor. He returned a favor. He stepped aside to let him fight. Even though I could kind of see where you could say that, but I'm like, no. So they say they're going to make the fight. After they agreed to the fight, then you got the it's the WBO, right? You got the WBO coming back and saying, oh, well, we're still going to strip Fundora. So to me, it looks like Crawford he's hiding behind, oh, I only want a Canelo fight and I only want big money fight, so that things can be put into place for him, so he can duck all the tough smoke, the Charlos, the Fundoras, and all these people at 54. They could take that belt. He could fight somebody for the vacant belt and be able to get that WBO belt. That's what it looks like to me. Because one, if you really want to fight Canelo, you would just drop that belt and focus on getting the Canelo fight. Canelo has already said he's not going to fight you. So why is that your main focus? And then you got Crawford coming out beefing with T.O. He on there calling out Conor McGregor. And I just feel like it's all misdirection and a distraction while all these things are going on behind the scenes. So it can be like, oh, well, we had to strip Fundora. He wanted to fight Spence for the money.
Exactly.
Got who they said was next in line for the belt? I can't think of the name.
For which belt?
Josh Kelly or somebody?
Yeah. Josh Kelly's he's like WBO for sure.
I gotta fight Josh Kelly for this belt, and it's gonna be like all the smoke at 154 pounds, and you fighting Josh Kelly for the belt?
Exactly.
No, Josh Kelly can fight.
No, he could fight, but he got knocked out by Evanesian, so it's not a good look.
That's a long time ago, man.
And even if Josh Kelly can fight, though, Teach, it's just still about, like, we want to see you fight the Fundoras. We want to see you fight the Charlos. And when you say this to people, they're like, oh, he'll smoke them. But so fight them then. Yeah, just fight them then. I'm gonna let you go, Teach. And if it goes down like this, it just proves what I've been saying all this time, that Crawford has been extremely strategic with his career. All the smoke at 54,
And you
and
want to fight
you
Josh Kelly.
want to fight Josh Kelly for a belt at that. Like, you hiding
And you know what's
behind
so
all this
funny
other
about that,
stuff
2
and
Cents?
throwing all these smoke screens, trying to throw attention away from this duck, in my opinion.
I'm gonna let
What you
Teach
got,
go.
Teach? Go ahead, Teach.
Now, what I just want to say is that Bivol, Bud is definitely being strategic, and I think he wanted to go two paths, in my opinion. He wanted to go for belts, and he wanted big money fights, and he had a backup plan for each, right? So if he can't get the belts, then he's gonna go for Canelo. If he can't get Canelo, he's gonna go for the belts. That's just the way I see it.
I think he's using Canelo as a smokescreen.
If he
It
was
is.
going for the
Yeah,
belts,
smoke
Teach, he
mirrors.
would have just fought Fedora. Fedora got 2 belts.
Because
I
I
mean,
highly doubt I highly doubt the PBC is finna let Bud come over there and fight Canelo. It's not what especially without being signed to him for at least
Exactly.
more than one
And
fight.
Canelo's already involved in a public dispute with Turkey, so I don't get why they feel like they can mend that relationship. We all know that Canelo's super sensitive, so I don't see why they think he's gonna change. I don't see it. Then my thing is this,
Exactly.
right? When I look at the fans, everybody's saying, "Oh well, Boots signed Eddie Hearns. He's gonna go on a Euro bum bashing tour. He don't want to fight real competition. So why does he want to fight Josh Kelly? He got knocked out. He's a domestic level UK dude. Like, why is that your focus? Tim Tszyu said, if you want smoke, you could get it. Virgil said, if you want smoke, you could get it. Fondora backed up and dropped his
He
nuts and
already
said, look.
dug Virgil, though. Let's throw that out
But that's what
there.
I'm saying. So these dudes is telling you, look, if you want smoke, we could get it. He didn't think Fondora was going to push for the purse bid. So now he's like, damn, this dude, I'm going
Called
to
his
let you
bluff.
fight Spence.
but he doesn't want the smoke though. He wants the shortest route to whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So
I
adding a
can't
Virgil
respect it.
Ortiz, that's like a roadblock for him. But he said it himself, right? I mean, he's 38 right now. He wants big money fights, and it
Josh
looks like
Kelly's not a big
The
money
big,
fight, though, bro.
that's what I'm saying. The big money fight to me, Teach, is just a misdirection, so you can duck fights. Because was Madrimov a big money fight? I mean, maybe Turkey paid him a lot of
no,
money, but
but no, but
that wasn't no big
that's
money fight.
not a big money fight, but it was one of his targeted goals to get a belt.
That's just my thing, right? If you really want
Fedora
big
got
money,
2 belts, though, Teach.
if
But
you
he
Yeah.
was
really
going
want
for
big money,
Fundora, and he could have gotten Fundora if he wanted to. But it looks like something happened, and he may go to Canelo. That's what I'm saying. It looks like a Canelo deal is happening. That's why I said,
but we're gonna see. But my thing is this, right? If you
I
really
don't
want the money, Charlo's a big money fight. Tim Tszyu's a big money fight. Fondora, you could get a bag with Fondora. Like there's options. Even Virgil Ortiz, you can make some money fighting these guys. So you kind of contradicting what you're saying. If you want the big money, you got to go after the Virgils, the Tim Tszyu's. You got to go after the Charlos. Even if like he was to move up to 160, like I feel like if he wants to carve out a legacy, I feel like he probably could beat Laura at 160. They like
That
the
would be a
same
great
age.
fight.
I
He
mean,
could be
the only
the 5 division champion. That'd be a good look for him. So my thing is, there's other ways for him to move. I just feel like he's using smoke screens and he's using like social media and his fans to like. It's very weird with Crawford. I ain't gonna lie.
I
It's
mean, the
weird how he
only
moving. It's
He's done
yeah,
weird.
it
the only
before though,
other
because
big money
Bormac
fight.
admitted it.
What you say, Dragon?
He's done it before because Bormac admitted it when they was chasing belts. He said he wants to go for the easier option before. That's what Bormac said before.
I agree. They don't want no dog fight. Like my thing is this, right? He might very well could be Fondora, but if you think you're gonna get in the ring with Fondora and he's not gonna land nothing, then I don't know what to tell you. I feel like people really sleeping on Fondora's punching power. You seen when he did the Lubin's face?
Yeah.
I think Fedora is really a bad style matchup for Bud. I would love to see that fight. I think it'd be a good fight. Bud could possibly edge it out. I would love to see the game plan him and Bomac put together to beat Fedora, but I think it's about a bad style matchup.
It's a very bad
Big
style matchup.
Big
Yeah.
Supreme knows how I feel about that fight. I got Fundora beating Bud.
I've heard a
I
lot of
think he
people
could
say that.
too. I think he hits hard enough and he can keep the range and control the distance enough to land something on Bud that'll probably change the complexion of the fight. For people thinking that he's just gonna go with a high guard and walk him down, I don't see that, bro. I
yeah,
don't
that,
see it at all.
A Kilo Netter in the building. He says Bud as the mandatory will be the B side to Fundora, and I don't see him taking that based on his prior negotiations. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, dude, you want to be undisputed. He got 2 of the belts and the mandatory. You're his mandatory. Go fight him, bro. Like all this. I want to be the like. So you're gonna fight lesser competition just so you can be the A side? Come on, man. And then his fans just let him get away with this stuff. Nobody want to call him out on that. Like, y'all don't, and they think, oh, since he ain't take the fight, he must got the Canelo fight. That's not what that means.
You know what it is, bro? Like, it's the Turkey situation. Like they feel like he's gonna throw a bag at everybody. I don't see it. Even when Turkey said, look, when Virgil fought Boachuk, he said, look, I want to make the Boots versus Crawford fight next. Crawford shot that down ASAP. Like, what? I'm not fighting Boots. He just offered you a bag to fight Boots and you turn it down. So it's not about the money. You got on Twitter and said that if you give me the money, I'll fight Boots. So Crawford the bread. So Turkey like, all right, I got the bag. You turned it down. So my thing is, people could say whatever they want. I know for a fact he knows if he get in the ring with Boots, it's going to be a very hard fight. I'm not saying that he can't beat Boots, but at 37, I don't know if you want to get in the ring with someone like Boots right now. I don't think he wants to do that.
I agree.
Ramon say Charlo's are 2 inactive. Well, allegedly they'll be fighting on the Tank undercard. So Charlo can come in, grab him a tune-up, and he champion in recess. He can call for that fight.
But I feel like Charlo's the perfect dude because they like around the same age.
I think that's what Al trying to do, to be honest. I think he's gonna make him do that.
And I do think the WBO is favoring Crawford, but I also think they don't want PBC to have that control of that belt.
No, that's definitely true.
Motherfucker.
And it's so crazy because you see people scream about corruption in boxing, but then they'll turn a blind eye to how they treat Fundora. He just got the belt, and you're already talking about stripping this dude. Then he enters the negotiations with this dude, and he backs out, and you're still trying to strip him. So it's like, I feel like they think that he's not willing to fight Crawford. I think he knows he could beat Crawford. I feel like when people look at the Mendoza fight, yes, he did get caught. He did knock him out. I get that, but anybody could get knocked out, bro.
Right.
Let me ask you guys.
He got knocked out.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead,
Teach.
Yeah, just want to ask you guys a question. What do you guys think about the play about, let's say, Spence beats Fundora, and Bud wants to fight Spence again? That's another big money fight.
If that happens, then I could see them fighting, but I don't. That fight might take a lot out of Spence.
I mean, again, he could fight the rematch with Spence. You know, a lot of people want to see it, but we all know what the point Spence is at in his career. You get what I'm saying?
I think that he could beat Fundora.
Do I think Spence could beat Fundora? Yeah. I don't. It depends. Like, if Spence is halfway decent, I feel like that's a bad style matchup for Fundora. Spence the body snatcher. He gonna chop Fundora down. But the long layoff coming off the beat down you took from Crawford, we don't know what to expect from Spence.
Right.
And Spence has already tweeted out like, "Hey, this might be my last fight." So
I would hate to see Spence get knocked out in the first 4 rounds with Fundora or something like that, man. That'd be a bad look. I feel like they probably think that they probably could get him out of there. Well, I hope he does, and I hope he does get the rematch with Crawford. I don't know what happened with Spence with that. I ain't gonna delve into that too much. But even when I watched that fight live, and I'm like, damn, I switched my bet. I ain't gonna lie, I'm like, yeah, Crawford about to get him out of here. Like when he came out the ring and I seen his eyes, I'm like, yeah, I think Crawford gonna get him out of there. And once he got that first knockdown, that was it. Like I just live bet Crawford for the KO.
Yeah, that fight should have been way more competitive. I'm gonna say that.
Right.
Something was definitely going on.
What y'all think about Tank and Roach?
I think it's gonna be a decent fight, long as it lasts.
That's what I think. I don't think anybody at that level, bro. I don't understand why people choose to disrespect them fighters, bro. They at that level for a reason, man. And I really don't just see him laying down, bro. Like I don't see him laying down.
Me neither. What y'all think about Turkey blocking Tank? Because I think that's what's going on.
Why you think Turkey blocking Tank?
Because you gotta think, right? All the options that was on the table for Tank, they rocking with Turkey.
Yeah.
Fedora, Zepeda, Lomachenko was at the Turkey fight.
Shakur.
Moritala got a fight going on. Shakur was up at the Turkey fight. So like everybody that will be a good fight for Tank right now in his weight class, they kind of were Turkey.
Yeah.
So you think Turkey is offering them more money to take less competitive fights, or it's like a
I
strategic?
think they offering him a bag to stay away from Tank.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think it's blocking? I mean, all they have to do is just negotiate with the guy.
All right, so this is
That's
my
it.
thing with Turkey, right?
But Al Heyman, that's
He's a,
not finna be fooling with. First of all, Al Heyman, I don't think. I mean, I guess Al Heyman has done business with Turkey, but
yeah, he did.
you got to think about Javante and the deal he has with Prime.
Right.
I probably can't be you showing this fight on the zone and all this other stuff because of the contract I'm in with Prime. So it might not even just be like, oh, I ain't finna come fool with you. Like I'm contractually obligated to fight on this platform.
That makes a lot of sense.
Let
But
me,
the reason why I feel like Turkey's doing that, my fault, teacher. I just gonna say this one thing. Turkey's already shown that he's very vindictive, and like his small little time in boxing, the situation with the WBA, the situation with BoxRec, even like at the fight, he's waving his finger in Bivol's face. He's telling Tim
What
Tszyu,
y'all
"I'll
think he
never
was
do
saying? What y'all
this."
think he said to Bivol?
Yeah, I don't know, but he definitely was cursing him out though. I don't know what he said, but he definitely was talking to him kind of hard, for sure.
Who was Turkey?
Turkey, he had his finger in Bivol's
Who the
face,
fuck?
waving his
Let
finger.
me see if I can find it. Go ahead, Big Supreme.
It's like, sorry to cut you, Big Supreme. It's exactly how he spoke to Eddie Hearn and Shakur as well.
Exactly. So my thing is, this dude, like I feel like whenever something doesn't go his way, he feels a way about it. Like him
Yeah.
buying. All right, so basically he bought the WBA and removed them from BoxRec. So now if you look at BoxRec, it's like really hard to find who's like the champions and when is a fight coming up. You got to go to like the WBA website itself. So you already said Tim Tszyu, I'm not doing business with you. I'm not doing business with Canelo. Like the way he moves, I can see him developing a vendetta against Tank, especially when he said sending two Ferraris and this, that, and the third. Like I could see him feeling away and saying, you know what, I'm just gonna block him. That's what I think he's doing.
Listen,
Personally,
Turkey is not
Yep.
gonna outmaneuver Al in the U.S.
I
Exactly.
don't think he is, but you gotta think, right? You look at ESPN the other day, like all they do is talk bad about Tank. That's all they do.
Yeah.
Tank is cherry picking. He's fighting low level competition. I think he's a hype job. And if you look on Twitter, like the vast majority of people think that Tank is a hype job. Like we know he's not, but it's just the public perception that Tank is turning down these competitive fights. You look at Teofimo. This dude's been calling out Tank forever, but he's in litigation with Top Rank. Nobody's gonna address that. They're just gonna say, well, Tank should have sent the contract.
Right.
Or Tank didn't try harder. You
And
understand
then
what I'm saying?
they never
Yeah.
acknowledge these fighters is on Top Rank. It's not just easy to just, you know what I'm saying, get them fights like that.
When
I
you
agree with Big Supreme. I think that Turkey's making some moves behind the scenes and manipulating the media to fall into his lap because he wanted Tank, but because Tank refused him, he's doing everything he can to try and force Tank to like sign with him. But Al Heyman's not going to allow that.
and that's the thing. Like, if Turkey wants to do business with Tank, if he wants to do business with Canelo, it's gonna have to be on their terms.
Right. And he don't like that.
That's the problem. He don't like
But
that.
but Turkey, I think Turkey's willing to work with PBC because he did it before. So if he's willing,
But if he's gonna work with PBC as far as Tank is concerned, it's not gonna be no cross promotional. We gonna be on the zone. We gonna be in Saudi. It's not gonna be none of that. So it's like,
That's what he
what would
wants.
Turkey even be
right?
needed for?
Right.
Yo, you ain't see what he did with what's the dude name? The president of WB? I think it's Gilberto
Damn,
Mendoza.
Joseph say Al Heyman had a heart attack. I heard.
Yeah, he's sick.
Yeah, I heard he's sick.
Out
I
the way.
heard. I don't know how true it is though, but I heard he's sick though.
Yeah,
Damn,
he,
that's crazy. What
Then
you saying, Big Supreme?
I seen him take a picture with Gilberto Mendoza. He had a picture. Well, he had a shirt with Turkey's face on it saying that Turkey's the face of boxing. So I just thought that was weird. You got like sanctioning bodies basically pledging allegiance to this dude. Then he's getting involved with the IBA. The IBA is like the Russian Federation and stuff like that. They do the amateurs and all of that. He's going to business with them. So he's trying to like corner the market basically. And the only person that he hasn't been able to conquer really is Al Heyman and PBC. So
Shout
I feel
out
like
to
he hasn't
Detroit,
been better with them.
BC. Detroit, BC, if this your first time here, please make sure you punch that like and subscribe button. Thank you for stopping by and checking out the channel. But damn, I forgot what I was finna say. Oh, I heard Turkey did a ring walk.
He did.
What?
I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Paul Marlene was like, damn, this dude's a narcissist, man.
He is
You
a
see-
big time narcissist, man. Everything has to be revolved around him instead of the fighters. It's crazy, bro.
Supreme Cam, you coming up? Oh, my bad. I didn't even see you in the back. Oh, we got Big Dog Willie in the building. What's going on, Big Dog Willie?
What's
Big
cracking? I just got one thing to say.
What you got? What you got?
Fuck Bill Haney. That's all I want to say. Fuck Bill Haney.
We're not even
Hey,
finna start
let
no
me
Devin talk tonight. We
let
not
me
even
ask you
finna
guys
go
one
there.
question. Let me ask you guys a question. Like another controversial thing about the event yesterday, and usually with Turkey's event, is about the events that he has during his downtime. How do you guys feel about that, man? Because the way I feel about it,
Hold on. At Supreme Cam, come up here, bro. Here go the link right here. Okay, go ahead, teach.
yeah, because the way I feel about it, so I have this zone, right? And usually what they do in their downtimes is just show a lot of commercials, which
Yes,
is
they
which is
do.
annoying as hell.
The
And
same commercial at that.
yeah, and then what ESPN Plus does is they pretty much show nothing, just nothing, right? And PBC doesn't do that as much. So what do you guys think about the events that Turkey has during the downtime?
That shit losing money.
You talking about them concerts? I heard he had another concert.
Yeah, like the concerts. Like
The last-
I want to see something. Like I don't want to see commercials and I don't want to see nothing. I want
My
to see
opinion on it is it's sports washing. So if anybody knows what that is,
Yeah.
Break it
basically
down
what
for us, Big
Turkey,
Supreme.
so basically
Yeah.
what Turkey and them is doing, they're using
The
boxing
money.
as the vehicle to clean up the reputation and image of Saudi Arabia. For example, right? They highlighted this yesterday. Oh, Scott Nicholson and Raven Chapman is the first female boxing match in Saudi Arabia. It's 2024, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like, why are you highlighting that? So basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to soften the public perception of Saudi Arabia in the global sphere. And this is what they're doing. So now they put on a Tyson Fury. They put on the 175 undisputed with Beterbiev and Bivol. Like, they're trying to make these things happen so they could clean their image. Now, if you look at I don't know if you remember when Turkey had a back and forth with Jake Donovan. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
All right, so Turkey was saying that America's dirty, the streets are
Right. He
unclean,
definitely
and
was.
And the cinema's dirty as well.
you understand what I'm saying? So he wants Saudi Arabia to be the one-stop destination for all of the celebrities. So
Right.
him bringing Ciara, him bringing Eminem, he's just bringing eyes to Saudi, and he's trying to attract the viewership. Now, a dude like Tank, Canelo, anyway, they don't really need him. So now, when you see his reaction to them be so strong, to me, it lets me know, all right, this dude is not really in boxing for the greater boxing.
Oh,
Yeah.
dick.
Yeah.
And that's my
So
opinion on that.
this is
Definitely.
my
It's
thing
about
when Turkey first came into business and they were like, oh, Turkey trying to get tourism to Saudi Arabia and this and that. And I'm like, you usually when you're a tourist and you go somewhere, it's because it's not available to you where you're at.
Right.
We have boxing in the United States. Why would I go all the way to Saudi Arabia to watch boxing? And me as a woman, I'm definitely not going to Saudi Arabia.
Right.
But that's Big Supreme's point. I think what Big Supreme's saying is because he's like freezing out Tank and freezing out, like trying to freeze out the market. If he can get people like Tank and Inoue and Canelo on board, then that will make it like it will force people to be like, we have to go to Dubai because he's not going to allow it to happen in America or the UK. Once he gets his hands on everything he wants, he's going to be vindictive and he's going to just like, have that leadership, dictatorship quality. And I think that's where Big Supreme's coming from.
Hold on. Melvin Air Podcast say Turkey was also at the Diddy party with Devin. That's wild.
Nasty work.
All sports is supposed to do this. Matter of fact, most countries are using sports as a vehicle. But this the thing about boxing, though. Boxing is such a niche sport. You get what I'm saying? But I did hear that the Saudis are also trying to give the college athletes NIL deals.
That's what I'm saying. So like what he's trying to do, he's basically trying to corner the market, and I feel like the PBC is the only ones that stand in their ground. Because he got everybody else. You got to think he got Queensberry,
Hey, but
Matchroom.
Bob Arum ain't playing that shit either, though. Just
Yeah,
like he
but
was like, "Hey, we doing this card on ESPN."
yeah, but that's Bob Arum though. He's 90 years old. He's about to go any days. They like, all right, whatever. Let him have his way for now. But he literally got all the major promotional companies under one banner, and he even got MMA. For you
But
to
they
get
not
Dana
doing
White,
good though. They're
Yeah,
not
now
doing
they not
good.
doing good, but that's not. I don't even think that's their goal. I just think their goal is just to control boxing.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think they care.
yeah.
You
You
understand what
right.
I'm
You
saying?
probably
Like
got a
they're not
point.
in it for the greater of the sport. They just in it for
Yeah.
themselves. In my opinion.
I agree.
Think it's a sports takeover with those sports because they know they're not back like the NFL is back and
So,
how basketball is back. It's like the boxing is like the Wild Wild West as well as MMA.
so
Another thing
paid,
too,
paid
I
in
don't know.
2 cents. You think Turkey's gonna start taking the college player to make NFL teams or college football teams over there?
I
I
don't
don't
think he could
know.
do that.
It's just a
I
joke.
don't.
I'm just joking, but
Oh, I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
say
you
shit. I
trolling?
don't know,
Nah,
T.
I'm really being serious though. I'm not even like joking. Like you gotta think, right? This dude, like a lot of people don't like. I had to really study your man because I'm like, yo, why everybody just bowing down to this dude, right? There's a reporter named Jamal Khashoggi, I believe. Y'all could Google him. He was a reporter in Saudi Arabia, and he was speaking out against the totalitarian dictatorship and the way they was treating women and whatever. They found that dude dead, and they were saying that Turkey had a hand in that. Now, if you Google it, you can find it. So
Say it
this is
again.
the type of dude that we're dealing with here. It's not this dude that like he's only used to getting things done his way.
Yeah.
So when we criticize him or say this about him, he's weird. I don't know if you've seen the back and forth of him and Jake Donovan. He's calling him a
On
coward.
Twitter,
He's calling him this, and it's like, where are you getting this from, bro?
yeah, I've
Right.
seen
So
the
I don't think
Twitter.
he's good for
on
boxing.
Twitter. Yeah.
I've seen the Twitter
I mean, the way
conversation.
he was putting his fingers in Bivol fight, Bivol should have left hooked that dude. Like,
No,
you gotta get out my face, bro. You tripping?
bro. I swear I don't know nobody that's going. I don't give a fuck where we at, bro. I'm not never calling no man. No, what do you call? What is he? What is
Your
he?
Your
Excellency.
ex, whatever your excellency wants. I'll be like, yes,
Man, fuck out of
good.
here, bro. You a man
Yeah.
just like I'm a man. Man, you got me fucked up. And but they
So okay, Turkey has been in boxing this whole year. You know, PBC has been, they've been over there rebuilding, working on whatever they're working on. Al was going through whatever he was going through. If you could rate this year of boxing on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it
As a whole,
as a whole? I mean, with Turkey with the cards he's put on this year, the
I
cards
ain't
you've
gonna
seen
lie.
this year.
That's the thing with Turkey. Like without him, I don't think we would have got the heavyweight undisputed. We wouldn't have got 175 undisputed, and even like in the minimum weight, Oscar Calaz was about to fight CP Freshmont. They haven't had a unification in like 20 years. So like that's like the positive sides, but I know why he's in the sport. So that's why it's like, but if I just keep it strictly boxing, I would say 8.5 out of 10.
We got Supreme Cam on the panel. What's going on, Supreme Cam? What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
What's good? What's good? I heard y'all giving the Tank talk. You know what I'm saying? We all know everybody hating on Tank or whatever. But far as Turkey, bro, like Big Supreme said, like he low key good for the sport or whatever, cause he giving us them fights that we want every now and then here and there. But
Let me tell you what Turkey is doing. Turkey is giving you fights that I believe, my 2 cents, the other promoters were not willing to make because they would not have been as profitable.
That's a fact.
And because he's willing to lose money, he's able to put on those fights. Now you can't fault the other promoters for not putting on the fights because they got a business to run. They don't got quote unquote unlimited money. The question is though, how long will he do that?
Right.
But we going back to like more so of like what Big Supreme was saying, that totalitarian mindset. It's all for control at the end of the day. It's
Yeah.
like we like he don't mind losing the money if he can control things. Like, mind you, where was this last fight that we just seen?
In
It was
Saudi.
in Saudi. Like like that Shakur Tank fight. Like, if he is able to put that on, I believe that he gonna want that fight in Saudi, and that's not what we trying to see at all, bro.
Right. At all.
Definitely not in Saudi.
I
No.
think
I
once he
mean, they
reaches his
they
goals,
both American fighters. Why would you
Doesn't
take them
make
over
sense
to
in
Saudi?
Saudi.
it doesn't make sense. But what like you said, Ken, like I
Right.
said, Oscar Collazo and a CP knockout, like the lower weight classes, like the minimum weights, the straw weights, and all that. The money's really in Japan, really for real. Like the big money fights for those weight classes, they got to go to Japan and make 500,000, make $1 million. So at straw weight, they making like 100,000 between the two of them. So like most promoters are not gonna spend the money to get a unification going at that weight class. So with Turkey getting involved, look, I'm gonna foot the bill. I'm gonna get this side 200,000. I'm gonna get this side 200,000. We gonna make it in Saudi. In that regard, I could see it being good. But like I said, like it's like shooting. It's like cutting your nose off to spite your face, basically. Like the promoters, they like, look, we're gonna get this dude involved. We're gonna get this money, and then when he lose interest, we're just gonna figure it out on our own. That's what I think is gonna happen, in my personal opinion.
But they gonna be there ruin the fighters. Then you get what I'm saying?
They
Just
don't
like Eddie
care.
Hearn say, I can't even put on my own cards because everybody want to fight on the Riyadh season card.
Yeah, because I feel like Frank Warren is really the mastermind behind. Like, if you do your research on Frank Warren, like he's been sued by numerous fighters. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all knew that a dude shot him too.
You know,
Yeah,
Frank
yeah,
Warren is
yeah.
in the UK, so I honestly don't know too much
Yeah,
for
he did.
Frank Warren. Dragon Assassin gonna have to update us.
Yeah, he owed the boxer some money, and the boxer wasn't getting paid, so the boxer went and landed on his doorstep, and yeah,
Terry Marsh, right? Is his name?
yeah.
He shot him. Like
Yeah.
they had a dispute over some money, and Frank Warren got some ironclad contracts, so he wasn't feeling it. He mashed up, and the dude was like a Marine or something like that. He shot him
Yeah.
like 5 times. He pierced his lung, pierced his,
Yep.
his
Oh
spine.
shit.
I'm like, word. And
Was
then
Yeah.
when I
that
did my
serious?
research on him, he did a lot of boxers dirty. So in my opinion, Frank Warren's the mastermind behind all of this happening.
That's
In
why
my
Chris
opinion,
Eubank Jr. was saying what he said to
insinuating.
Frank Warren, and Frank Warren got angry because Chris Eubank Jr. was actually speaking the truth.
And
Yeah,
then
he
what he
made
did
him
the same day.
apologize, huh?
All right, he apologized. Now, if you look at it, right, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearns was like mortal enemies
Yep.
for years. Is it a coincidence that all of Eddie Hearns fighters is losing on Saudi cards? Like everybody, whether it's
Everybody.
Anthony Joshua, you got Bivol, you got Raymond Ford, all other dudes, they all lost. So I don't think it's a coincidence when Frank Warren's in the shadows. If you look at the events, he's laughing, he's joking, kikiing. Eddie Hearns is sitting there mad as hell because he know what's going on. So him saying that he can't even pay his own fighters anymore, it makes sense. Frank Warren probably masterminded all that. That's just my opinion. We just speculating, but with his track
We
record
got our
of
tinfoil
getting a
hats
lot
on
of,
over here.
say it again.
We got our tinfoil hats on over here.
Now I got my 10-4 hat on because I'm looking at all of the lawsuits, and then he got shot. You gotta think, what kind of promoter gets shot by somebody? Like, they was mad enough to go and shoot this dude. They almost killed him. I think they paralyzed him. I think he has like one lung to this day. So like, you had to be doing some fuck shit with the business. You had to be. For a dude to shoot you, a boxer, he risked his and he beat the case too though. But for a boxer to actually, I never seen no boxer try to shoot Bob Arum. This dude done got indicted by the feds for robbery.
Hey, I think him and Don King had some beef back in the day.
I'm saying Don King was with John Gotti. Bob Arum didn't get shot. Mind you, he got indicted by the feds. He was fixing fights. He got sued by the Nevada
He
Athletic
was paying
Commission.
for rankings.
You dig what I'm saying? So nobody never tried to shoot this dude. Like, so what will make a UK dude shoot somebody in the UK. They don't. Not saying I don't got guns over there, but it's not like America where everybody's just shooting everybody. So you have to be a special kind of piece of shit. Pardon my language, in my opinion.
Big
Supreme
Supreme said it
Cam, you got
perfectly
something
though.
else for the show, bro?
Say it again.
I was seeing if Supreme Cam got some more for the show.
Oh yeah, to this Tank hate, I really need all the GTD fans to go ahead keep on keeping on for Tank. You know what I'm saying? Cause Tank is getting a lot of hate out here, bro. Like we really got all this hate pushed on a man who is fighting his fourth option, which is a champion at the end of the day. A champion. Ain't nobody had this much flack on Frank Martin. Now, although Frank Martin was a good option as well, one of the top contenders in the lightweight division or whatever. But y'all heard what Lamont Roach said. He said, look, bro, they ain't even give Hector this much flack when Tank fought Hector, bro. And
It seems a little targeted and orchestrated, right?
Yeah.
orchestrated like a mug.
I'm telling y'all,
And
man. I
it's
believe
the
it's
turkey.
orchestrated.
It's the turkey hate. It's the turkey hate. I'm
I don't
with
think
you.
it's that, right? Because you gotta look at it, right? All right, so when we look at all of the big fights that we wanted over the years that never happened, it's always involved with a PBC fighter. When it's Joshua and Wilder, Adonis and Kovalev, Adonis and Ward, Lomachenko and Tank, Spence and Crawford, Pacquiao and Mayweather. It's always the other promoters blocking the PBC fighter. So my thing is, it's not a coincidence. Like the politics, in my opinion, putting the tinfoil hat on, getting on my Farrakhan, I don't think they like that a Harvard graduate black man from Ohio is making these $100 million pay-per-view events. I don't think they like that. That's just my opinion. Now,
But people try to make it seem like it's PBC protecting their fighters when, like, was you on here the other night, Big Supreme, when I'm playing the videos of Bob Arum and he like, I ain't about to make no fight for Tank.
yeah,
Like,
I was there.
why would I do that? And I'm like, come on, guys, like it's right there. You know
Because
what
you
I'm
got to look,
saying?
right? The ESPN is a very huge transnational company. So if you got people on every day saying Tank Davis is a duck, Tank Davis is a cherry pick, Tank Davis is this, people are going to start believing it. Even though Lomachenko has an exclusivity deal with ESPN and can't go and cross the street, we're still going to blame Tank. Same thing with Kovalev. He had a exclusivity contract with Kathy Duva, and he couldn't fight Adonis, but everybody blamed Adonis. So my thing is, this has been going on if you pay attention. So it's not a coincidence that all of the promoters teamed up with Turkey, and Al Haymon is the only one that's the odd man out.
I said at the beginning of this Turkey stuff, are they gonna team up and try to compete against the PBC?
That's what they're doing. I feel like they're trying to
the
get out of there.
PBC the one got all the pay-per-view stars.
So what y'all
DAZN ain't got no pay-per-view stars. Top Rank ain't got no pay-per-view stars.
What's the first thing they said when DAZN came out?
Showtime killer.
They said pay-per-view was dead.
Free.
Pay-per-view killer.
Why they said pay-per-view was dead? Because you got Tank, you got Mayweather, you got Spence. These dudes doing 500,000. You got black men driving Rolls Royces. Not to get too deep into that, but that's just my opinion. If you got Lomachenko, right? He's a 2-time gold medalist. He's never been on pay-per-view before. You got this dude Tank. He's from Baltimore. He just did 1.6 million, made 100 million, $30 million gate. You think them people like that? Hell no. That's just my opinion, because all of the rival promoters are all on the same team. Al Haymon's the only guy on the odd man out.
But you know what people not talking about? Nobody making videos about it. But Top Ranking ESPN deal ends in 2024. But I don't hear nobody saying Top Rank going out of business or they put ESPN out of business.
In the cut, they got Turkey, so they say, "Oh well, we with the winning team basically." So my thing is, it's the narratives, and I think Fanon was talking about that this morning, basically saying that a lot of these YouTube channels they getting a check that talk bad about Tank, and I feel like people call it a conspiracy theory, but it doesn't make sense why some of these channels incessantly talk about Tank. That's all they do. They talk about Tank. They get on Twitter. They get on their social medias, and it's like Tank is not doing nothing different from any other fighter.
And I heard this too. I want to know what Supreme Cam teach. Y'all hop in here. I seen a YouTube channel saying that Tank ducked Connor being for Lamont Roach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just stuff like that. And it's just like, come on, y'all. Like, and that's
She
what I was
said
telling Fanon in the chat. Like, I heard that, but that type of stuff I don't even pay attention to because it sounds so ridiculous.
There's so many YouTube channels out there that there's about 3 in particular that I really can't stand. I'm not going to mention their names, but one's got this little slime ball that's joined his channel and he's kissing his ass at the moment. And he constantly is degrading Tank every second. And it's like, if you hate the man so much, why are you talking about him? And it's ridiculous. 2 cents. It's ridiculous.
I think it's orchestrated.
And a lot of people feel like, oh, if you give your opinion about it, because like I tell people, my channel, 2 cents, everybody entitled to their own opinion. When you just look at what's going on, state the facts and give your opinion, they want to say, oh, you hating. No, nobody's hating. Like, y'all are literally just, and these are smart people, because to make up some of the stuff y'all making up, you gotta be an intelligent person. You can't be dumb making up shit like that, in my opinion. So I just don't get it. Like, why you don't need to make up anything in boxing. It's enough drama. It's enough stuff going around. You don't need to sit around making up stuff.
For example, when you look at Shakur, he said he wanted $30 million to fight Tank. So that's not pricing itself out. So my thing is like, it's clear these dudes not trying to fight Tank. So it's like, is it someone in their ear, or they scared to get knocked out? I don't think they scared to fight Tank, because it's gonna come with a bag. We just seen Frank Martin get a new Rolls Royce. He got Audemars, like, he's shining. He's getting his money. He look good. So anybody would want that. I feel like they getting in these dudes' ears. Like, nah, look, we gonna pay you this. Stay away from them. That's it. And that's my opinion, because it doesn't make sense.
In the building, what's going on, Thomas? And y'all be sure to push that like and subscribe button, and you can always support the channel by hitting the Cash App at 2 cents boxing. Damn, I didn't even put my banner. We've been having such a great conversation. Listen, thank y'all for hopping up here on the panel tonight. I know it's late, but I always appreciate a good boxing conversation.
This was a good build.
Big Supreme, to what you're saying, honestly, I think these dudes never had any intention on fighting Tank.
Same.
I think they never had any intentions on fighting him, to be honest with you. Unless they can catch him at an opportune time when, I don't know, he's slipping, he been out the ring a long time. Like, I don't think they have any intentions on fighting him, because if you really look at it and you look at the facts, they're not putting themselves in a position to get the fight.
So this is what I think right here.
Go ahead,
I think Shakur maybe thought that him and Tank was gonna end up getting it off maybe like round about mid to late 2025. When that opportunity came after Loma duck, he kind of got cold feet right there, because you see he was open opportunity for him to step in, take that fight right there, and then what he do? Go run the Eddie Hearn.
I'm okay with Shakur not stepping in to take that fight, to be honest with you, because we want to see Shakur and Tank when both of y'all have had opportune time to prepare and y'all are ready. And also, Tank is at the beginning of his Amazon deal. Why would he fight his quote unquote best opposition he could possibly fight so early in his deal? So I was okay with Shakur not taking the fight. However, I was always leaning towards Shakur don't really want the fight. When he left Top Rank and went to Eddie Hearn, that kind of made me be like, come on, dude. Like, you're not putting yourself any closer to getting a Tank fight. And I know people saying, oh, it's a 2-fight deal. It's a 2-fight deal. But why even go over there fooling with Eddie Hearn when you see what's going on with his fighters? Like, why are you over there fooling with Turkey when you seeing what's going on with Eddie Hearn and his fighters?
I think he's going to lose to Zepeda.
Go ahead, B. Supreme, my bad.
No, I was going to say, I think he's going to lose his
I don't think he's gonna fight Zepeda. I think he's gonna set it up and we're gonna have another duck story and he's gonna fight a lesser opponent.
If he fights Zepeda in Saudi, he's gonna lose 100%.
Nah, facts. Now, this is why you go to Eddie Hearn. You go to Eddie Hearn because Eddie Hearn is the one promoter that tells you, okay, I don't want the Tank fight. Shakur don't need the Tank fight right now. He was the only promoter out there promoting like, hey, I'm not looking for no tank fight. This is not what we want right now. We looking to build Shakur name right now, and Shakur like, hey, that's an easy option right there. I'm gonna go over there where I don't have to worry about the tank rough fight right now. I can warm up the 135 because we already heard Shakur say that he had to get his power right, get his hands right for 135. He always felt he was on Cigar Talk talking about he wasn't just used to the weight yet. And
Exactly. Thank you, Supreme. Listen, I don't mean
come
to
on
cut
now.
you off, but I've been
Nah,
telling
go
people that,
ahead.
and they've been acting like I've been making it up. And I was like, the man said himself he ain't acclimated to the weight at 35. Why y'all think he gonna fight Tank right now?
He not ready for Tank. That's why I'm saying that he got cold feet once Loma dropped out. He was not expecting it to happen that quick like that. And people just think it's a, you know what I'm saying? He was waiting around on Tank. What you want him to do? Just sit there and wait for weeks and weeks and months. It wasn't even weeks and weeks and months. We talking about maybe a week where
I
he
don't even
sat
think it was a
around and
week, bro. It
waited.
was like 3 days.
Yeah, come on now, 3 days. And then you talking about I don't want to get cold, you know what I'm saying? I need to stay active. And then what he do now? He all of a sudden get hurt and he gotta go get surgery or whatever. He already knew his hands was. I
This is
think with
my
the hand situation, he always had something somewhat wrong with his hands, but like at the same time, like he didn't have to get no surgery. The surgery, that's just some cleanup work he got done to go ahead back out of that Cordina fight.
And
I think
hold on, I'm gonna say this too, and we got Thomas Hill on the panel. I'm gonna
oh, what's
pass the
up,
mic
Brody?
to
I didn't even
Thomas
see you.
Hill so he could drop his 2 cents. But listen, I think that Shakur Stevenson getting that surgery and not letting them put him on Turkey really tried to sell us an undercard on pay-per-view, y'all. He really tried to sell us a pay-per-view undercard. And I feel
Cordina on
like
pay-per-view is crazy.
Shakur Stevenson going to get that surgery right now and not taking that was a genius idea. Kudos to him and his team. Don't let Turkey and Eddie play you, Shakur.
But look though, you see what you said? Remember what I said earlier? Turkey's very vindictive. My thing is this, right? If he fights Zepeda, I want to see one thing, right? I want to see how Zepeda looks against Tevin Farmer. If he fights Tevin Farmer and stops him and make it look easy, then I don't think Shakur gonna beat Zepeda, in my opinion. Now, if Zepeda fights him in Saudi and Shakur doesn't get the stoppage, he's gonna lose on the scorecards, 100%, 100%. And that's just my opinion. Now, I gotta wait for everything to unfold. I gotta wait till the fight get made and it happens. But I think Zepeda's gonna beat him on the scorecards, or maybe even stop him, in my opinion.
Thomas Hill, what's going on? What you got for the show? What's your 2 cents?
Salute Thomas Hill. Salute.
Doodoo about to hit you with a nickel bag. First and foremost, shout out to the hostess with the mostest, 2 cents boxing, always putting 2 cents in them. Then son, to them people in the chat that be acting a fool. Shout out to my main man Teach. I know Shakur his boy, so I'm gonna have mad respect for him and his boy when I address this. Shout out to my guy Supreme Cam. You know the cam always good when it's got Supreme lenses on it. And shout out to my man Big Supreme. You know what I'm saying? Who doubled up on the Supreme. And then shout out to my main man, Dragon Assassin Official. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say this.
Well, let me say this real quick, Thomas Hill, before you go. Did y'all see them glasses Tevin Farmer had on? Dude,
You gotta show me the picture.
Can he
could you put that
see?
up?
Them glasses was so thick. Let me look for it. But go ahead, Thomas Hill.
That boy could read the future. He was getting his Cleo on, Miss Cleo. He was Miss Cleo incarnated with that
boy
bad boy.
already see the fight. But go ahead.
Damn. That means he definitely gonna see the left hook coming. But I digress. What I will say is this. I think people have trepidation with regards to Devin and Shakur because of the things that come out of their mouths. There was a time when he said, Tank better not dare get in the ring with me. He know what'll happen. So people gonna hold to that. Because when the opportunity becomes available, are you really trying to get in the ring? Damn a tune-up and things like that. Now, I know that it's best that they both go in there at their best. it makes for a better fight. And I know that time was not this time right now. I do believe that, if they went in there, it wouldn't have been advantageous for Shakur because he's coming off of like a moderate layoff. And on top of that, he has to do something with his hands. So I'm with you in regards to that. I know it's just to build the fight coming up. I know most of it is talk. He know that, he got to be on his best if he getting in that ring with Tank. Tank likewise know the same. Was Tank willing to get him in that ring? Well,
Hey,
they
y'all
did
keep talking.
discuss.
I'm about to step away for like 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Oh, for sure. They did discuss the, terms of possibly making a fight and what it would look like. That being the case, him going to Eddie, I think is different. I think it's in an attempt to build him globally because there's a different demographic that Eddie and his company appeals to. So let's get him on there so that we can build some fight fans up out this way so we can even become more of a bigger draw for him. So I think that he made that move specifically because he saw Devin get paid an inordinate amount of money for not really producing like most people would expect him to produce. And then he saw the opportunity to go and have a different demographic look at him. So it's not bad in the sense that if he can get the fights, that he gets a different audience looking at him, tapping into him. And ultimately, if they rock with him, he gains new fans. Now, him taking that surgery, I agree. That was genius because that was a bad fight that he was in, man. No way do you spin that fight as a good fight. Even though Joe Cordina, I believe, is a good opponent. I believe he's a quality opponent. I believe that, he just stayed too far at that dang weight class and he needed to move up a long time ago. And that's what happens when you stay too long. But there was talks between he and Shakur prior to them moving up to 135 to fight at 130 and to unify the belts there. So, I mean, I wasn't too mad at it. And also, I know that politics that go involved, that go in play when it comes to matchmaking and spending money and things of that nature. Do I believe that he is scared to fight Tank? No, I know he is wise enough to know that it's just not good to hop in the ring unless I'm at my best.
What you think about that, Teach?
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
What you think about that, Teach?
Teach, you there? You might have stepped away.
Teach.
Yeah,
Supreme Cam, what you think about that, Supreme Cam? I guess everybody
I'm gonna say,
stepped away.
really, to be honest, I can agree that the Cordina fight was gonna be a much better fight than people was like making it out to be, but it wasn't the big name that everybody wanted. So that is true on that aspect.
And you coming off a knockout loss and you moving up. Like you gotta psychologically, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I think it affects a boxer's coming off a knockout loss and you moving up, fighting in a weight class you never
and
fought
you
in.
moving up. So you got that added aspect. And then like you brought up a good point, Tom, as well. You want to be at your best. Far as him being scared, you know what I'm saying? I honestly don't know whether he's scared or not, because when you see Tank going there with somebody like Frank Martin, who got punching power, who came in there with some good movement. Frank was
Great
moving a
movement.
whole lot better in that fight than we expected him to move. And everybody want to say, why did he get stuck on the ropes? Why this happened? Like, bro, we see this with Tank. It's always why the fighter let him do this or let him do that. But Tank went in there and executed the exact game plan that he wanted to execute. He was comfortably in that ring all night. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. That fight that we just watched with Beterbiev and Bivol woke a lot of people up. And by a lot of people, I mean all the point guys, all the people that's in there trying to be point masters and point it off and all this. That put a lot of fear in them boys' hearts, cause you can't go in there with them judges no more They kind of getting them in them judges' heads. I don't know what's the talks behind the scenes and stuff now, but we seeing a lot of people who would normally win off points start to lose now. So you can't depend on the points no more. You're gonna have to go in there, make it a fight, prove dominance and ring generalship, and Tank got all of the above. So what you gonna do at this point? Y'all already seen what Shakur said: robbery, boxing, done now. You don't see Tank saying that. Although Tank don't speak a lot, which I would love for him to speak up a whole lot more. But I'm just saying, what y'all think about that?
So,
I think
Supreme
put a
Cam,
lot
what you
of
think
fear.
about this comment though? They said Frank Martin don't have good footwork.
You can say whatever you want to say about him not having good footwork. Frank was moving in that ring. Was Frank not? Come on now. Was Frank not moving around in that ring pretty good? It's just that Tank started catching him. And Tank started catching him, and Frank mental start, hey, what do I do here? He start getting mentally fatigued? He start trying to figure something else out. Derrick James, I already told him, you got to stay off the road. But like, what do I do? I'm trying to move, and he's steady catching me.
Yeah. And I mean, people just don't want to give Tank credit. And I know a lot of people like, can y'all hear me? Because my signal saying is faded.
Yeah,
a lot of people like, oh, this. A lot of people taking that Bivol Beterbiev fight and kind of being like, oh, maybe this how the Tank Shakur fighter go win. No, Tank is a way better boxer than Beterbiev. Like, we got to stop acting like Tank Davis can't box.
Well, can I add a little something right now?
Hold on, real quick. Hold on. We
Oh, my
got
bad.
Cash Crypto in the building. What's going on, Cash Crypto? Go ahead, Thomas.
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to speak on what Supreme just got through saying. But I'm going to take it a different route. I think many people believe that Bivol was far superior a boxer than Beterbiev. And Beterbiev is just one of these boxers that so happen to be able to hit you with one punch and get you up out of there. So he ain't as skilled as people should come to know. And I think that lines up with the Tank narrative as well too, because Tank gets people up out of there by knockout. People really believe like his skill set is lacking behind his power, and that's not the case. His skill set is the reason why his power shines. And I think that in that fight, if you're really smart, you look at what the narrative was against Bivol. For Bivol against Beterbiev, and how it didn't play out that way. The boxer, supposedly the superior boxer, got outboxed or boxed at the same level. And you could see the effect that one's punches was having upon the other one. So, hopefully people look at that and start judging books by certain covers, man, and actually read the forward and the preface. You know what I'm saying? And get a kind of understanding of what's going on within that book. Likewise, he said something else. Goodness gracious, what was it? Oh, fuck, God damn, I'm tripping. I got a dog barking. It threw me off. But yeah, dang, what else did you say, Big Supreme? You was talking about something else besides that fight. Supreme Ken, what did you say?
All right, can I
I
say
remember I was
something?
talking about the Frank fight too, or whatever.
Okay,
But
yeah, let me touch
You
it.
got next, Teach.
But
Teach.
one more thing I want to say is, if we comparing it to Tank and Shakur, like really, if you was going for the skilled boxer, that's really what you want when you got a skilled boxer going up against a power puncher like that. And then on top of that, you seen Bivol taking chances during the fight. He was actually taking risks early on. We know he gave away them championship rounds, but it was some times in there where Bivol was trying to back that man up, and he just couldn't because Beterbiev was eating them jumps. We all seen it, but I think Tank and Shakur fighting, like, Shakur is not taking them chances. The moments where we seen Bivol coming in there and trying to take his chances in there, we don't see that with Shakur. So that's gonna be the difference between them two guys fight.
Because Shakur can't afford to lose those exchanges. And I
He
honestly
can't.
believe Shakur ain't got no chin. I believe
Hmm.
Shakur ain't got no chin, which is why he's so cautious in the ring.
Well, Teach, I know you want to rock. I just wanted to comment on that last statement right there with the footwork. I think people demarginalize Tank's skill as well too by saying the people that he in the ring with don't have this or wasn't as good as, man, that dude footwork was not bad. His footwork was excellent. It's just that the man that he was going against knew how to cut the ring and make his footwork become a disadvantage to him. And that's what he did. And then on top of that, he took away the best way of escape. He made him go to the brick every single time because he wouldn't let him go to that left or his right. But Martin's left. And I mean, that's always going to be the thing with him, man, because when he fights somebody, and if he should do well, exceptionally well against somebody, it's going to always be something that they say really wasn't so good about that fighter, man. And it's going to happen whenever he get in the ring with Loma. It's going to happen when he get in the ring with Devin. It's going to happen when he get in the ring with Shakur. They'll find a way, if he should win, to marginalize the victory by saying this is the case. And I'm done.
Cool. I guess I'll just agree with Supreme Cam on the comparisons between Bivol Beterbiev, Tank Shakur. I really don't like to compare that fight. I know people want to compare a power boxer versus a technical boxer, but this is just not the case with Tank and Shakur, especially for Shakur, who doesn't fight like Bivol at all. Because Bivol, he's an active puncher and he moves. Shakur is not as active as Bivol, so I don't like that comparison. Shakur's just going to fight another way and just try to win that fight, but it's not going to be trying to outslug Tank for sure. But yeah, I was listening to you guys earlier. I was actually in the living room, so I couldn't comment earlier. But I just wanna bring up the timeline to you guys. And I pulled it up actually about the Tank and Shakur situation. So pretty much July 6th, Shakur became like a free agent after his last fight, right? Shakur was ordered to fight Zepeda on July 15th, and that would have taken like probably 1 month for negotiation. They said July 15th to August 20th. But I don't want to count that as Shakur being tied up because Oscar pretty much said himself, hey, he's not gonna do what they order him to do, right? So that to me just means Shakur was free from July 6th, right? Then July 20th, we know that the Tank and Loma fight fell apart, right? So Tank had all that time to pretty much contact Shakur for a fight, which they did. They contacted them, but nothing else happened aside from that. And to me, that just means that these guys, they didn't want to fight now. So I don't think anybody ducked. I just think that they talked behind the scenes, they planned something, but these guys just didn't want to fight right now. And then after that, pretty much, Shakur, he just became tied up when he decided to go to Matchroom, right? So that's the whole situation with me. But for people saying that Shakur is ducking, to me, that's all just speculation. And about how the fight goes, I'm not gonna be mad at anybody's opinion. I mean, you have your opinion saying that Tank is gonna beat Shakur, Tank is gonna knock him out. I just think the fight, that's a good fight, good 50-50 fight. But I just think Shakur is gonna win. I think he's the smarter boxer for sure.
All right, let me get my 2 cents. This is what I think really kind of went down with Tank and Shakur, because if you think back, I can recall Bob Arum saying, even Eddie Hearn is not going to pay him the kind of money I'm going to pay him. So Shakur has been in talks with Eddie Hearn before he officially left Top Rank. I think that Shakur was already in the deal with Matchroom, and when he was contacted, he was unavailable because he had already did whatever he was gonna do and had in place whatever he was gonna have in place with Matchroom. Because just like how KO was saying on his channel, how they were showing all the interviews and he had the same clothes on from 2 weeks ago when they dropped. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like he was all at the Matchroom fights, all in the videos. I feel like he already had that set with Matchroom before Tank contacted them. And when they contacted them, he was probably like, hey, I'm already with Matchroom. So it's like, well, you know, we're not messing with Eddie Hearn. We're not doing no business with him. So it's no point in me even calling you back because you already got whatever you got going on with Matchroom. And that's why I feel like that situation kind of went like that. Maybe they did discuss doing something, you know, for next year after he left Matchroom or whatever. Because the issue I'm having with a lot of people is they're like, well, why don't Tank just pay the step aside money? Why don't Tank just pay to do this and pay to get him out of his contract and pay? Like, why is it my place to pay to get you out of these contracts and get you out of these places where you're going, when if your plan is to fight me, put yourself in the position to be able to fight me. I'm not going to pay extra money to fight you. I'm not going to do that. So that's my 2 cents about what went on with that and why the fight didn't happen right now. And I just got to look at the people that Shakur is fighting. And I know a lot of people look at the Terence Crawford and the Earl Spence fight and they're like, well, it don't matter your resume. I could see how you could say that, but is Shakur preparing for a Tank fight? What's Cordina gonna help Shakur prepare for a Tank fight? Is the Zapata fight gonna help Shakur prepare for a Tank fight? And the reason why I don't even think he's going to fight Zapata is because we've already heard Oscar De La Hoya tell him, if you want the Zapata fight, you gotta sign with me. So why would that have changed all of a sudden when he signs with Eddie Hearn? So I don't know. It's just some weird stuff going on. I don't know if he went over there with Eddie Hearn real quick just to pick up 2 fights and get a quick bag. I don't know. What's y'all 2 cents?
And that's what I think, right? I think he just went there to get 2 fights, and that's the deal. And then I think it would have been on to a Tank fight. I kind of wish Shakur would have gotten a fight this year, and I wish he hadn't hurt his hand, because with 1 fight out of the way, he would have had one last fight in February, and possibly free to do whatever he wants. Now that he has this injury, it's kind of a bit harder now because it's going to be a longer wait. I don't see Tank and Shakur happening in 2025 for sure. I think it's going to be after 2025 because he still has that 2-fight deal with Eddie. And I know Shakur's not going to fight 3 times in a year.
Well, I mean, for me, I think that the move
I think Shakur is definitely gonna try to wait Tank out to the tail end of his career if he don't lose first.
for me, I mean, I think the move to Eddie was good financially because, like you said, he gets to fight and make money and still keep his everything intact, keep the steam full in the head, possibly generating even more interest in the fight with Tank, building even more of a bigger fan base, you know, because like he's going to be now broadcasted to a different demographic, like I was saying earlier, a different nation of people, folks, and you know they appreciate the type of the skill set that he has, so that might ingratiate himself some more fan base, which will
Can't do
make
that in 2 fights though, Thomas Hill.
well, I mean, in this day and age, if you put on a heck of a performance, man, I mean, just like if you put on a bad performance, it can swing the pendulum mightily. So if he goes out there and he styles, say he gets Cepeda and he styles on Cepeda, man, you now taking the look from the Latin point of view. They're gonna tune into it because they're gonna want to see him whoop up on a brother. Then you're looking at the American aspect, man. We love to see the fight. It's gonna be an interesting fight because you got an aggressive fighter going against a very good defensive fighter, and then you look at it from over there. You build more eyes on it. So I'm thinking that that's what they're hoping for. Now, whether it pans out, that's to be remain to be seen. But I believe that was the reason for the men. Now, you saying what you said about making that fight possible by going to the path of least resistance is true. If you truly want to get in that ring with Tank ASAP, like Rocky or Ferg, then that means you don't sign with somebody that you know Tank don't even mess with, and they're not going to do business with. So I agree with that statement. I'm just saying that this is not that bad of a look because it keeps him active. We've seen what inactivity does to fighters, and we've seen what how the fighters treat people, especially people like us who go out there and fight. I mean, they got Bud raving about how great a fan base they are. So it can build his fan base. And if it could do that, it can increase the intrigue for the fight. And maybe we can get that bad boy in a 25. Maybe we don't have to wait. But I agree with what you're saying, though.
Dragon Assassin, what you think?
Yeah, I'm with surprisingly, even though I'm Gervonta Tank Davis fan, I don't think Shakur actually ducked outright because I do think they came to some arrangement, and we haven't yet heard anything from Tank's team to dispute that. But I do think that him moving to Eddie Hearn is a bad mistake, and that doesn't say that he wants to fight Tank at the same time. I think that was a big mistake, and Cordina wouldn't have propelled Shakur as people think it would have happened because he's not popular at all. And I just think it would have set him back. And if he'd went through with his fight, the pay-per-view sales would have hurt Shakur more than ever. So it's lucky he kind of hurt his hand. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I just can't wait to see this fight because I know Tank's gonna knock him out, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Supreme Cam, what you got?
I think it was a duck still, regardless. I'm gonna just say that. Because you already knew that Eddie Hearn was against Tank, like y'all saying, and you knew Eddie Hearn did not want the Tank fight. So like whether you was already in negotiations with Eddie Hearn before Tank was free after Loma ducked, you were already getting in bed with a promoter that didn't want the Tank fight. So that automatically screams duck to me. So I'm gonna still call him a duck, but as far as for the money, I think that's why we don't hear Coach Kenny kind of, you know what I'm saying, going out his way to, you know what I'm saying, kind of bash Shakur about that or like call him out about that, because Coach Kenny also believes himself that the fight should have been in 2025. He said that I forgot who show he was on when he said that, but that might have been for none. But he was like, Shakur, we want you in 2025. Will you be open to that? Woo woo. And then Coach Kenny wasn't really expecting it, but at the same time, he wanted the fight. He would have. I believe they would have took the fight regardless, whether it had been this year or 2025. But I think this is just another plus for Team GCD. You know what I'm saying? Saying that, okay, even though he went over there with Eddie Hearn, we wanted to fight him in 2025, whether it be mid 2025 or late 2025. So a year from now or like around that December time, that'll give him time to build up his name a little more. And the only thing he gotta do is don't mess up the bag. And this what I don't want him to do. Like, please don't mess up the bag against Cordino or Zapata, because those are still dangerous fights for Shakur. So get your hands right. Don't mess up the bag and fool around and have bad showings and end up getting just messed around on the scorecards or anything like that, bro. So like I said, still a duck, and it's still a plus for Tank team. You know what I'm saying?
Big Dog Willie, you gonna talk noise from the chat, or you gonna hop on the panel? How we hating? Nobody's hating. We just calling a spade, bro. Just like Cash Crypto said, we can't sit here and act like I've been sipping a little wine too, so I might get a little loose on here tonight. But we can't sit here and act like he didn't tell Eddie Hearn not to make the fight. He literally was signed with Eddie Hearn and then told him don't make the fight.
Yeah,
And then
but
showed up
two
showed
cent.
up to the Terence Crawford fight, sitting on with Eddie and Turkey like they like they ain't already made a deal or nothing. That told us right there that they had already been talking. I was like, oh, he signed, and then
For sure.
Turkey gets up on the mic talking about, oh, we already talk about Shakur. I want Shakur de Beta. I want Shakur de Beta. Like, bro, like y'all ain't already been talking about this.
Well, from the way Shakur was moving, right? I could already tell that he was going to go to the zone after he became a free agent, because you pretty much see him talking about Eddie and Matchroom. You see him with Eddie, so I knew he was going to go that way. But I agree with everybody when they pretty much say, hey, if you want the smoke, you got to go to where the smoke is. Unfortunately, I can't control what Shakur does, and he went to Matchroom. But at the same time, I would say that cross promotional fights can be made. But also, even though Eddie said that he didn't want, Shakur team pretty much told him not to um make anything happen with Tank. Remember, Eddie Hearn pretty much came out and saying in an interview that if he has to step aside to make that happen, he's going to do it. So this is pretty much all up to Shakur's team and what they want to do. Eddie Hearn doesn't have to be involved in making a Tank fight.
But he will have to pay Eddie though. It's not just no, hey Eddie,
Well,
I want to make this Tank fight, and it's like, oh okay, cool. No, you got to pay me some bread. Devin Haney had to pay him 300,000 to make that Ryan Garcia fight. And what you think about this, Teach? And this for all of y'all actually, but I want to hear what Teach got to say about it first. Kilo Netter says all of Shakur fights at the top level of 135 have been bad showings.
Yeah, he ain't look good against
Teach.
what's that boy name?
wanted me to
De Los Santos. He didn't look good against Autumn. He done had excuses ever since the
All the
Yoshino fight.
135 fights, yeah.
Ever
What
since
you
the Yoshino fight, he done had excuses. And Big Dog Willie, we see you down there.
Big
We
Dog Willie,
see
hit
you
the
down there,
link,
Big
bro.
Hey, hit
Dog
the
Willie. Look, I'm
link,
gonna
big
tell you.
Big
dog,
Dog
Willie.
Look,
Bump
Willie,
all the
hit the
damn
link. Hit the link.
taxes.
look. I'm gonna tell you, Big Dog. I actually used to like Shakur. The only reason I be spitting in Shakur face like this is because of his mouth, bro. He
Yeah.
can't get off of Twitter, and he's steady getting on interviews talking all that. No, if Tank was talking like this and not backing it up, bro, I would be talking about Tank the same way. But
Yeah.
Shakur steady, he talks about he want this person, he want that person, bro. If you're a free agent and you talking is greasy as you talking, you want the Tank fight next, like win, lose, or draw. I don't care what happened. Somebody take my belt away, take this away, take my whole professional career away. Whatever you need to do, but I need Tank next. I need Tank, and that's how Shakur was talking. But Shakur,
He all butt naked
he
with his
making
chains
these little
on.
soft ass moves here and there, and then he want to do this, and then now he want to be like, oh, we gonna fight when we fight. I want to fight you. We gonna do
Are you
this.
done? Are you
Like,
guys
bro,
done?
which
my
is it?
Big
thing
Are
with
you guys
this,
Dog
done?
Willie, Big
my,
Dog
Are you
Willie.
guys done?
No, Big
my
Willie. Before you
Yeah,
go,
Are you
let
guys
Teach
done?
go.
Stop the
No,
cap.
before you go, let Teach go because it was initially addressed to Teach.
Stop the cap.
so I just
Hold
want
on
to
with that.
say if this fight would have been possible to made, the onus would have been on Tank. Tank is the A side.
How?
Tank is the A side. You should send a proposal, a contract, and get the fight done that way. Look at what Benavidez did. Clear A side, sent Morel a contract, went on Twitter, talked about it.
But
Tank did none of
you
that.
literally went somewhere to somebody you know I don't want to do business with. Like you literally
No,
was
but that
like,
you can't. You
Listen,
guys,
but
I hate when you
Eddie,
guys use that excuse. It's an excuse that you guys been using for a while. It all Tank has the cards in his hand. All Tank had to do is send him something, and have a signing. Shakur, I'm not gonna make up for Shakur be capping. Shakur be making up shit. And Shakur, like you said, Shakur really wanted to fight. He should have waited for Tank, but Tank should have sent him something at the same time too. We just can't put all that on Shakur. Let me no. We just heard a phone call.
I gave the
We just heard a phone
timeline.
call. Nobody else nobody knows. Nobody knows exactly what happened. Instead, you guys just saying it. You guys think it happens. You guys, or not for sure, but my estimation, no, nobody knows what happened. Hey, what's the name said something? He didn't come out and say I sent him something. Shakur didn't say he sent me something. Nobody knows. So let's not play that game. You guys need to quit using that as an excuse because all you guys do is speculating.
Listen, I gave the timeline, right? July 20th to August, right? They had a lot of time to make the fight if they wanted it, but nothing happened.
But why do y'all think that Shakur wasn't already signed before? Of course, listen, Big Dog Willie, listen. This is all speculation, but I'm just saying, why didn't he go to PBC and get a 2-fight deal? Why would you go to Eddie Hearn and get a 2-fight deal?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, PBC don't have a good track record of making fights for people that they need them. Eddie Hearn does. Eddie Hearn's
what
over.
You mean they don't have a good track record? What you mean?
I'm about to tell you. You look at their fighters. I'm talking about making fights on a steady basis. You look at their fighters. Look at the fighters. Like some fighters on their roster go only 1 fight a year, and they've been doing that.
That's different though. You talking about activity?
No, that's part of it. Yeah, because with Eddie Hearn, you're gonna get paid. Eddie Hearn's gonna overpay you, and he's gonna get you more fights.
All right, so this is my thing, right?
And he gonna get your ass whooped.
Like I said earlier before you hopped up on the panel, right? Like I said earlier before you hopped up on the panel, right? When we look at the history with all of the big fights that we wanted to see happen, like I said, Adonis Stevenson, Kovalev, Adonis and Ward, Tank and Lomachenko, now Tank and Shakur, Wilder and Joshua. All of these fights always have a PBC fighter involved. And now, like I told 2 Cents earlier, with Turkey getting involved, all of these promotional companies are under the same banner. They all working together. To me, it sounds like PBC has been blocked, in my personal opinion. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, Adonis and Kovalev was under the same promotional banner. The fight never happened. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. He was being advised by Al Heyman. He decided to say, you know what, I'm just going to go to PBC since I'm already advised by him. And they never made the fight happen. So now my thing is this, right? You look at De Los Santos. They send him over to Top Rank. You look at Wilder. They send him over to Turkey. Pitbull, Rayo, Morel. Only one promoter has shown the proclivity to work with other promoters. Every other promoter, it has to be on their terms, on their platform, under their banner. PBC has shown that they have no problem sending their fighters to go in hostile territory. Now with Shakur, you just had the opportunity. He was a free agent. You pulled a fast one. You got Eddie Hearn on camera saying, look, I was instructed by Shakur's team directly not to make the fight. So my thing is, I can't overlook that, bro. I can't overlook Eddie Hearn, who's the promoter, coming out and saying on multiple interviews, like, look, I want the Tank fight. It's not going to happen right now. And it's because your core team said to stay out of it. You're already involved in
I don't think he didn't say he didn't say like that.
I mean, he didn't say like that, but I'm just using
No, you don't. You're making words up. He didn't say like that.
Look. I'm not up here to argue with you, gang. I'm just saying.
I don't know, but don't put words in his mouth, though.
Bro, listen, calm down. I'm gonna reiterate it.
I'm just being honest. Don't put words in his mouth.
Listen, you gotta let me talk, bro. So what I'm saying is this, right? Can you agree that he said that I was advised not to make the fight? Can we agree on that?
100%.
All right. So now my thing is this, right? Why are you publicly saying that? What's the purpose of saying that? You had to be instructed by your course team to stay out of that fight. Now, my thing is, Tank and Hearns already have a public dispute. They're already going back and forth on Twitter every other day or every other month. So my thing is, why would you put a roadblock in a fight that you say you want?
Listen, you can't.
Listen, let me just say this one thing and I'm going to just fall back. You got on Fanon's Live. Coach Kenny said, look, in the event that Lomachenko pulls out of the fight, will you be willing to step in? He said yes. What happened? Lomachenko pulled out the fight, and the fight never was made. So my thing is, we got to start holding these other dudes accountable for the stuff that they be doing, bro. That's all I'm saying. Objectively speaking, every time a fight is supposed to be made, the onus is always on Tank. We never look at Haney saying, look, I'm a free agent. I can make the fight right now. Now, 2-3 years later, or while I never was a
No,
free agent
Haney's
because I
a
had to.
bad example.
But
I'm just saying.
let me say this real quick, Big Dog Willie, before you go. I mean, yeah, before we get your 2 cents off. If you look at the history, just like how Big Supreme was just saying, it's always a top ranked fighter attaching themselves to a PBC fighter, calling them out, saying they want the smoke when they already know Bob is not going to make those fights. He's not going to make those fights until his fighters are at the end of their career, or unless the fight is big enough to generate the type of income where they're going to be able to pay the 25% fees and they taxes and the whole fiasco we just seen with Brian Norman Jr. and Boots Ennis. So, and if you look at it, Keyshawn Davis is doing it right now. Keyshawn Davis got a fight coming up, and all he talking about is tank. Yeah. When he know damn well Bob Arum is not about to make no fight with him and Tank. It's like they sit these fighters in the meeting and they like, all right, y'all, this y'all marketing plan. Attach yourself to the best fighter at PBC. Call them out every time you got a fight coming up. When your fight over, be quiet. As soon as you got a next fight coming up, do it again. It's the constant pattern over and over and over. And people act like they don't see this.
That's more than 2 cents. That's actually about a quarter's worth. Because not only do they do that, they compound it by having your boy Tim Bradley, aka Samson, come over there and give a spiel about how Tank is this and this and that. It's always piggyback after they do stuff like that. They call them out, knowing they're not going to make the fight, knowing that Bob is not trading no belts to no other promotional company, especially the PBC and Al Heyman. So, yeah, I agree with you on that one. You're spot on that.
Somebody speaking from the peanut gallery right there. Cash Cripple from the peanut gallery just running his mouth. But anyway, so what I'm just trying to say is, I know Shakur went over to Eddie Hearn to get a bag. I'm not disputing that. I can be honest about that. He went over there to get a 2-fight bag, and that's what he wanted to do. But I think part of it is that Tank wasn't moving fast enough for Shakur, and Tank didn't want to wait for him to get the money. I think Shakur. Huh? No, it wasn't. It was more than 1 week because he went to Olympics. No, let me finish. He went to Olympics. No, he went to Tank went to Olympics. Was gone for a minute. There was no offer. We just heard a phone call.
Bro, if he wanted to fight, he would have had the fight. Period.
Oh,
now I'm not saying Shakur does. I'm just saying the fight ain't ready right now. But if he wanted to fight, he would have had the fight.
That's who. Are you just saying that? We don't know. It's all speculation, right? It's all speculation, right?
Do you really think that Tank Davis has some apprehension of fighting Shakur Stevenson at 135?
No, I think no.
Performances we've seen from Shakur Stevenson.
No, I don't think. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think that they won. I don't think. I'll be honest with you. I don't think Tank's team or Shakur's team wants to fight right now because they don't think it's going to make that much money.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
So I'm not saying the whole ducking thing. I don't think neither one of them duck. It's not right now. It's not financially right for them, and that's why I've been trying to say throughout the whole summer and about you guys, because you guys, take a man. You guys don't listen. So you guys not bad at Haney's though. I'm not. You know how I feel
listen, I'm not tripping. My only issue is. The only thing I would like to clear up is the rhetoric about Tank this and Tank ducking. Tank don't want that's the only thing I want to clear up is that it's not time for neither one of them to fight right now. Tank just started his Amazon deal. Why would he fight the only person that people believe can give him a challenge at 135 in the beginning of his deal? financially and business wise, it just doesn't make any sense. The issue comes when you butt naked on the internet with all your chains on, rocking back and forth in a gaming chair, talking about Tank, why you ducking me? Your beef now with Mayweather, your beef with me, and you doing all this capping on the internet. And so when a opportunity presents itself because Loma ducked out of the fight, now everybody looking at you like, what's up? You was just butt naked on the internet talking about you wanted to fight him.
Fuck you. That was
That's
a
where
bad.
the issue comes
That was
in
a bad
at.
look. That was a bad look. And I'm
Fucking
not, like I
naked
said,
though.
I don't
You
cover
want
for
to
Shakur for everything. I don't cover for Shakur for everything. But that's a bad
Big
look.
dog.
I ain't gonna lie. And I'm
Fucking
not, like I
naked.
said, I'm not gonna
I
cap
like
on
the
him. That was a
fight.
bad look. But I'm just in
Nah,
terms of
I
you guys
like that
saying that there was a
fight.
deal there and he turned it down. That's not true. And that's all I'm saying. And like I said, I have never ever said Tank is a duck. Like that never came out of my mouth. You guys never ever said that. I respect Tank's fighting skill. I just think Shakur's better, in my opinion. But Tank's a hell of a fighter.
You need to call off your trolls though, man.
Don't-
They
Hey,
really
I
out
can't.
here putting a
that-
bad, like they
I,
putting a bad stamp on Tank, like
you
this
know what?
man
You know
is
what? It's
not
not.
trying to make
No,
fights.
but you know what? 99% of those dudes are Haney fans. I guarantee you, they're Haney fans. Playing as, oh, shoot, why you don't want to fight Shakur? He's ducking. And then like those are Haney fans. And I'm dead serious. Remember
And
Yeah,
Tank?
Devin
They said
Haney,
that
listen,
Tank was
Devin
ducking.
Haney for sure never had no intentions on fighting Tank.
No, but those are Haney fans. Haney, if
Yeah.
it was Lomachenko, they're like, oh, Lomachenko's going to beat Tank. He's ducking. He's been ducking Lomachenko for years. Those are Devin Haney fans that say that shit. Any fighter that they think that can beat Tank, they're going to ride his nuts and say Tank's ducking them. They do that with every fighter, and especially with Devin Haney. So it all goes back to Devin Haney. I'm going to use that at all time. All goes back. Anything that's bad in boxing goes to Bill Haney.
I have to agree with Big Dog Willie on that one, because when Frank Martin was fighting, all the Haney fans had Frank Martin beating him, and then when Tank beat Frank Martin, they all started calling him a prospect. So I do agree with Big Dog Willie on that.
I just want to say this, right? Um, I wanted to make a point about Shakur. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell damn, he left. Well, I wanted to tell Big Supreme, you got to stop with selective hearing. Eddie may have said what he said, but then he also said that he would step aside to make the Shakur fight happen, to make that Tank fight happen. And then,
Meaning pay me.
huh?
Pay me. It ain't no step aside. You're gonna pay me. Yeah, I'm gonna step aside, but that's code for you're going to pay me.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't. I don't know what that means until it happens. So we don't know the actual deal, right? And then when it comes to pretty much Tank, right? Um, Tank Tank is not his own boss, right? He gets fights presented to him and he takes them. And he said that in interviews, right? When Devin Haney, when Teofimo was at 135, all these fights could have been made. They never got made. The
No,
reason
no,
the
no,
reason the
no,
reason
no,
why
no,
is
no.
because Tank's team didn't pursue it. I'm not saying Tank ducked or anything. His team didn't pursue it.
So
We
at
can't
what point,
blame
hold on,
we
Teach, hold on,
can't
Teach, hold
blame
on, Teach. Let me stop you right there. At what point could Devin Haney could have fought Tank Davis?
Devin Haney could have fought Tank Davis pretty much after
He got
the
out of jail.
Kambosos fight. But let me say something, right? He could have fought him after the Kambosos fight when Devin was free. Numerous times Devin
When he
said that
was
he
in
wanted,
jail?
whenever that time was, he was free.
He was
I
in
don't think he
jail.
was in jail that time.
You know what? I would agree with you,
But
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 but I want to
Devin
say,
Haney has a
wait,
bad
big
track record.
Willie. So with pretty much with that said, those fights could have happened when those guys were at 135. Even if a fight isn't ready now, you can negotiate for the future. Tank's team never ever once reached out to those guys saying that they're going to negotiate. Ellerby came out and said that Devin Haney and Tank is not a big fight, right? Let's bring Kambosos into this. Tank and Kambosos could have made a fight if they wanted to.
How?
If Tank's team reached out to them.
No,
Tank
they
pretty
were
much
at
said,
Top Rank and,
Tank,
and Teach. There was no
listen,
way Bob Arum was
this
going to
is
give up all
Australia.
those belts to
No,
Tank, bro.
this is Australia, right?
He was with
Tank
Top
pretty much
Rank.
Tank pretty much said he would fight Kambosos with um not for the belts, right? When we talk about Tio,
Top Rank. Top Rank.
yeah,
Listen,
when we talk listen, when
hold
we
on,
talk
Teach. I'm
about
not.
Tio
Wait,
and
wait.
Top
One
Rank,
thing before you go. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm not trying to cut you off. But got people, when y'all bringing up these fighters, y'all always talking about these fighters that are with Top Rank, got belts. Bob Arum is not making these fights, and he's not giving up these belts to PBC. And he said out of his own mouth, "Why would I make fights for Tank?"
Devin, right? You could argue that they could have contacted Devin for a fight anytime, even before he was with Top Rank. He was with Eddie at that time.
Want somebody
All I'm
they don't
saying,
deal with.
well, again, cross promotional fights are possible. You just got to reach out to the people and negotiate. When
Stephen,
Tank became a big name, he could negotiate with anybody he wants to, right? When we look at Tio,
Devin is not big
what did
enough
Tio
to. Devin is not profitable enough to make a cross
what
promotional
does that
fight.
what does that have to do with anything? You contact him for a
Because
fight
like
anytime.
Teach. But okay, let me say this real quick. I'm not trying to cut you off. But what did you learn from the Brian Norman Jr. and Jerron Ennis negotiations? These fighters got fees they gotta pay to go across. They got taxes they gotta pay. They already want these huge amounts of money to cover this and cover that. And on
How
top of that, the promoter has to be willing to make those fights.
but
Bob
how do
Arum
you
is not willing to give up any of those 35 belts to PBC at the time. And Bob Arum also said out of his own mouth when they were with Showtime, those fights were damn near impossible to make because of the exclusive deal that they had with ESPN.
I'm listening to Ellaby said what he said, right? Tank could do whatever he wants, right? Tank never, and I say never, his team never reached out to any of those guys to try and make a fight happen. So how are we gonna blame other guys for ducking Tank when they haven't reached out to those guys?
No, I don't. I
Stephen,
don't.
the
It's
promoter
not a
reached out
matter
to
of
Devin and Eddie.
ducking. It's not even a matter of ducking
No,
them.
it's the what it is, and I was going to say this real quick. What it is that in case, like I said, in case of Bill Haney and Devin Haney, they sat there and was blaming Tank for ducking and blaming Tank wasn't doing this, Tank wasn't doing that, Tank wasn't doing this. The same thing they with Shakur. Shakur, they had to deal with Shakur. Well, Shakur was supposed to fight Devin, and what happened with that? Devin moved up to 140. Talking about, oh, he should have touched 25%. And in case of those people, Devin is not. They're not. Whatever they do is effed up. But I'm talking about. But I understand you with the other fighters like with Shakur and Tio and stuff like that. I don't think the offer was made
I
to
sat there
them.
and watched Tio go over to the zone to make a unification happen. You're telling me he's not gonna consider a Tank fight? You're
I
telling me
don't. I
he
don't.
How
You know
is
what?
T.O.
I don't know.
career right
Tio's
now?
weird. Tio's
hmm?
weird. I don't know what the hell's wrong with Tio right now. So I don't. I don't know if he would have went over there to make a fight or not. Look how you been acting.
You
After I lost. After I
again
lost to Cambosa, he been acting really, really weird lately.
you make the offer to see what happens, pretty much. You make the offer to see what happens. If no offer is made, you can't blame any of those guys.
Yeah, but that's true. That's true. That's true. But in case of
But
Devin Haney,
why would I make why if
I
I'm
blame
fighting
Devin
on
Haney.
That's
Showtime?
the thing. You keep
If
saying,
I'm
why would I
fighting on
make offer?
Showtime, why
Because we
would I
want to
make an
see the fight.
offer?
Because we
But
want to see the
it's
fight.
not contractually, it can't even happen.
Then you can't say that. Then you can't say other guys are ducking Tank. You can't say that.
Well, two says I think what he's saying is just the fact that a lot of Tank fans is saying that everybody's ducking Tank, and that's not necessarily true. Loma,
I
yeah,
don't
that
think
was bad.
everybody's ducking take. I
Well,
think
no, but a lot of cats do. A lot of Tank fans do say that, and then
Exactly.
this whole, huh?
Exactly.
Because ever since
This is
Loma ducked him really bad. That was bad. But it's If you don't get a fight with Tank,
they're speaking to the people that they actually tried to make fights with, like Lomachenko, like Rayo, like these people literally ducked down the fight.
The only fight that Tank actually made was the Ryan fight, and he reached out to Loma. And the Ryan fight took 2 years. Took 2
well, no,
years
I
after
think
Ryan was calling him out.
that Roma
Ryan
fight
had to
was
go
that
his
Roma fight was
promotional
really.
company. He had to get his own lawyer. He had to do like he had to do some Earl. Ryan Garcia had to do some Earl Spence stuff to make that fight with
It's
Gervonta
not Ryan
Davis.
Garcia. It was on Tank's team. They made the whole process longer.
Why is Tank always to blame though? I
don't
want to
get it.
high note that what Two
Why?
Cents said. How come
Why,
she's always being
why did
held?
Ryan? Why did Ryan make the process longer? Ryan's been calling this guy out for a very long time,
No,
and it
I'm
took
not
2
saying he
years.
made the process longer. I'm saying he had to step away from
Uh,
Oscar
from
De La Hoya.
Oscar
He had
Oscar made that
He was still with
difficult.
Oscar at the end.
Oscar made that
made it
difficult.
difficult.
Yeah.
Thank
He
Oscar
was
made
still
that
with
difficult.
Oscar in the end. He was still with
Huh?
Oscar in the end. So
Yeah, but
that
him
was
and Oscar barely get along. I mean, that was Oscar's fault with the whole thing. That was
no.
all
I'm not
Oscar.
blaming Oscar for
Ryan
that.
had to get his lawyer to make the fight happen. Oscar didn't want that fight at all.
No, he didn't. He did not want that fight at all. He didn't want to lose his cash cow.
Yeah,
He knew he was going to fight Tank. That was his cash cow, and he did not want to make that fight.
exactly.
Why not? Big Supreme fighting a midget that can't reach gut and everything like that. Man, Tank is this unskilled, lucky puncher, man. Why they ain't scared? Why they ain't hopping in the ring like that, man?
A
And
lot
why
of
they
it,
always
is that fans really just, and this is the thing, like I'm really into the business aspect of boxing, and once you understand it, like a lot, you can weed out the BS right away. A lot of this stuff, people not understanding that these people got exclusive contracts on networks. People, promotional companies don't want to give up belts. Like, do y'all really think that Bob Arum will make a fight with Gervonta Tank Davis with Cambosos to lose all of his belts to PBC? No, that is Bob's leverage. He's gonna hold on to those belts so he can give them to his own up and coming fighters. Do y'all think that Bob Arum is really gonna throw Keyshawn Davis in there with Tank Davis? No, he's not, because he's
Hell
one of
no.
his up and coming fighters. It's just not gonna happen. So we gotta be real with that. Like we gotta be. Oh well, Keyshawn been calling out Tank. He gonna call out Tank the rest of his career because he know Bob ain't gonna make the fight, and the fight ain't gonna never happen, and it's gonna have people paying attention to him and talking about it. Why he ain't talking about Lemos, the dude he finna fight? You in the interview talking about Tank?
you need to talk about that Mickey Freaky. Is that Mickey Freaky going in there meaning business?
No, for real, man. Tank need to
But
go in
then why?
this Roach fight and let Roach drop him. Fuck it. Let
Just
Roach,
let him knock him out. Let him knock him
Roach
down.
let Roach drop your ass and let these niggas start coming in like flies, bro. They let them think that Roach got him. Roach got him. I can get him. Roach got him. I can get him.
He'll never hear the end of it.
I know it. But that's about the only way he gonna get these fights from the fighters ducking them to the promoters not thinking the fight worth it, because they like I may not make as much money as I want to make, and then on top of that I might, like you said, lose my belts or lose, you know what I'm saying, lose my fighter stop. Then it just really a lose at that point, and then everybody against Al Heyman. So they really don't want these fights, man. We saying they not ducking, and we saying that's not really what's going on. But like, Big Dog, you really don't think that some of these guys out here ducking?
No, I don't. I think. I mean, I think. Yeah, I think some of them don't want to. I think it's promoters and fighters that don't want to fight Tank.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not. No, I'm just saying. In terms of Shakur, no. But what's his name? Loma. That was a tough duck. That was
So
tough.
why you don't think Shakur? You don't think Shakur wasn't a duck because he trying to get his money up? Because that's the only
I think
reason I'm
no.
slightly giving him a
I
pass.
think that, like I said, I don't think the money was. I don't think either side want that fight right now because it's not going to make enough money for how big it's supposed to be. Shakur has fucked up hands, and I don't think they're going to get any better. And I think that's one of the things why he don't punch as hard as he like he wants to because his hands are effed up. And so he's not going. I don't think he might not even make it to the. He might retire in the next couple of years. How bad his hands are like bad.
I get that, but at the same time, Tank side wasn't the one that was crying for this fight like Shakur. Shakur already knew that he wasn't making no money. He already
Okay.
knew that he wasn't fighting on pay-per-view. So like why like we said, why sit on there with your shirt off with all these chains?
Because Shakur is bullshitting. I said that earlier. He's being full of shit. But the ducking part, no. But the bullshitting part, yeah. Yeah.
But why are we calling BS when people are calling each other out? That's my thing. Like, we're acting like nobody's supposed to.
But this is the teach. What you're not paying attention to is the call out don't really mean nothing. It's about, are you putting yourself in a position to get the fight? Devin Haney never put himself in a position to get the fight. Shakur, we thought was going to put himself in a position to get the fight when he left Top Rank, but he didn't. When Terence Crawford left Top Rank, all the bullshit he did, what you can't deny, is he put himself in position to get the fight. They're not doing that. That's all we saying. Like, and then another thing is, like, we can't try to outprice ourselves for these fight. Like, you can't ask for 30 million because that's what Ryan got when Ryan brought his own fan base to the fight.
Facts.
That's why they were able to do those numbers.
You're right. You're right on 85% of it. You're right on 85% of it. I think in terms of, like, I think what it is with Shakur, I don't think he really wanted to wait for what might happen, what might not happen. The bunny, what's name, offered him a bag. He's gonna go with the bag first because he didn't want to wait for Tank and figure out if he's gonna fight Tank next. It's gonna be a 2-fight deal. Do I have to wait? I think honestly, what's that's gonna overpay him for fighting a bum, which is about money, and I don't blame him for that. I don't think that might be the smartest move for him, but he wanted that money, and you can't like his hands are effed up. We don't know how long he's gonna be. So I think it was more of a strategic business decision. Shakur, and Tank was like, if it's not gonna make that much money now, why should I even force it?
Because I'm going to have to lose money fighting you because you're gonna want to get paid so much money for this fight because of the risk.
Dante, the thing with the Rayo fight, I don't know if it was an offer officially sent, but we already knew that Rayo already had a rematch clause with Pitbull. If it was a way to get out of that rematch clause with Pitbull, Rayo was already acting like a big dog A side and saying that he wasn't coming down to 135 to fight Tank. So why send an offer to Rayo if he already telling you that he not going to accept the offer by coming down to 135? And then, you know what I'm saying, far as the next one, which was Roach, of course, send Roach a offer. That used to be your boy back in the day. Go ahead, get him paid. He a champion and he's a good fighter. Maybe better than the last fight and what we seen with Frank Martin. As far as the Shakur thing, we already saying that now. Why, what, like you said, two cents, why fight your biggest fight right now? So at the end of the day, you really don't want it. But I mean, how Shakur been talking, how he been talking greasy at the same time, why not take it? It is what it is.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. That when you talking about the way he's talking, I'm talking about the reality of what's really going on. I understand what you're saying because he was talking greasy. I ain't gonna put. He was talking greasy, but I don't think that, like I said, I don't think that fight really was on neither one of those guys' radars at the time.
I think the only reason you don't send the offer to Shakur is because Tank team inevitably still kind of got love for Shakur. They don't really want to mess him over, but at this point in Shakur's career, he can't get the money that he want to get. And this fight, like you said, ain't gonna be as big as it need to be. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got a point, but then again, I just
I know.
can't
I look at you. Looked at the
get over
optics of
that
him
talking.
talking shit. You talking about the optics of him talking shit? Yeah, I get you on that one. I'm not going to even say. Yeah, the man was talking too much shit to be.
Ambrose West say Ryo didn't accept because Tank wanted to fight at a catchweight for Ryo's belt. Ryo said, "Hell no, fight me at 140 for my belt." Now, I'm not saying if Ambrose West is right or wrong, but he's not taking Roach's belt. Why would he take Ryo's belt if he doesn't plan on campaigning at 140? That just kind of don't make no sense because all he's gonna do is take the belt and drop it. So that to me, my 2 cents is that really don't make no sense. I think he just wanted the fight, and especially after Ryo coming off his best win against Pitbull. And I don't think that people are realizing that Tank Davis weighed in like what 132, 133 pounds his last fight.
Dog on there could have fought at 130.
He damn
But
near
here it
could
is.
fight at 130. Like, why are we acting like this a big guy? Like he's not a big Tank is a little dude.
He's
But here it is,
always
two
been a
cents.
smaller guy.
Here it is,
He
2
giving you
cents.
some quick results.
What do you think about people saying Tank is gonna lullaby everybody from 147 down?
She think that's a
Right.
likelihood of
So
happening.
right. So
I think
when
he
people
can.
say
What you
that,
mean? Like I think he can beat everybody from
all
147.
right. So when
Except
people
for Bush.
say that,
When people
when
say
people
that, that's what he's saying. When people
when
say
people
that,
say that, then you're
yeah.
expecting Tank to could go to 140. You're expecting him to go to 147. Don't tell me
People
that.
say that, but people aren't Tank.
Nah, but that's the perception. You're telling me he can. You're telling me he can fight at 140 and he can
The,
fight at 147.
I'm
That's what you're
telling you
telling me.
my
I hear what
opinion.
Teacher's saying, and I understand fully what he means. I can comprehend it too. But look, to me, there is only really 2 fights left for Tank at 135. I don't think there are any other fights that will be catch anybody's attention or people will gravitate for. So he at some point will have to move to a different division and start fighting, whether that's 30 or 40. Because right now, don't nobody else captivate me, especially me. I'm just speaking for myself. Let me just say that. All I really want to see is Loma. I really don't want it because I know they're gonna say Loma's washed up, in spite of the fact that he arguably won the Devin fight and he definitely decimated a Cambosis who
I
never
agree.
got done.
I agree with you there, Thomas. I don't think that Loma won that fight against Devin.
And I want Tank
I
to
think
be at
Loma had good
135.
moments in that fight, but he did not win that fight.
I mean,
That's
it
why I
was a
said
very close. It was a very close fight,
it's
though.
arguable. You
Yeah.
could say you could score it either way. It was that close of a fight. And we talking about a guy who's too small for that division anyway, and made him work hard to get that W. And then you talking about a person who never got dominated in a fashion like that. Now Devin beat the dog snot out of him for 24 rounds, but never dirtied him like Loma did. But when he get in the ring with Tank and take that Tank will, it's gonna be, oh, he was old and washed. You know what I'm saying? So the only 2 fights to me though is him and Shakur. Those are the only 2 fights I want to see at 135 for him. And then it's like you got to go conquer something, whether it's dropping down to 130, making a no way fight, or if it's moving up and taking out the big dogs there. But I mean,
Now,
his shelf
how
life.
do you think fans will react to an in-away fight? They already calling Tank a weight bully for pulling Roach up. What you think they're gonna say about an in-away fight? Even though I think that's a huge money fight, but you know what I think though? I think Shakur should go back to 130 and fight in-away.
Nah.
Nah.
I mean, I would prefer that fight for Tank, not
I mean, that was
Shakur.
a big money fight, but nah. I think
I'm
Tank's.
all for.
And
I don't
since
think that's a big
everybody
money
has
for
been
Shakur
ducking
at all.
Shakur, how come nobody called Shakur to go up to 140?
Right. And I'm all for Tank going to 140, but like I think you need to get 135 out the way. I don't agree with the going up in weight, coming back down. Don't do that to yourself. Go
Nah,
ahead and clear out 135. If
yeah,
I
go up.
think at last case, at worst case scenario, once you clean up 135, maybe stay and fight Keyshawn. But yeah, eventually he may have to move up to 140. And I think if he ended at 135, it's still great because that's his third weight division he fighting in. But I really don't want to see him fight like Tommy said, them two fights at 135. And I would like to see him fight at 140 and go get T.O. and Devin.
But
Yeah, I
that's
want to see my fight at
but
142.
Supreme
The
Kim, I'm
fight,
glad you brought that up because nobody ever mentions like y'all acting like this ain't Tank third weight class.
That's
When
Yeah,
what
y'all
it's called.
and
steady
you
asking
hear
for
the
him to
main
move up and up.
you hear the main man on ESPN, Tim Bradley, talking about Tank need to move up in weight, bro. And I know Tank got that punching power where we say Tank punch like light heavyweight, Tank punching like middleweight or whatever. We're out the band, you know what I'm saying? So if he punching like that, he need to go test himself. You know what I'm saying? Cool. But we can make all these speculations and root Tank on and say what Tank can do, but what does Tank want to do? And then we gotta remember the fact that this is his third weight class, so he can be looking at it like y'all want me to do something that Terence Crawford just did throughout his entire career. Terence Crawford, where he came from, where he went from, where he
35,
started at. He started
35.
at 30, 35 and he just got the 54. So like we really crying for Tank to do something that Crawford just did.
I think what it is, the big money fights are at 140.
Big money
And
for who? Tank is guaranteed his 40
no, I'm talking
million
about.
or
I mean,
whatever
but
he
you can get even more money if he at 50, at 40. There's nobody at 135 that he can make money with.
But that
And now
who's available
I'm
at 40?
including Shakur, huh?
Okay, Big Dog Willie. Okay, let's be real. Run it down. Who's literally available for him at 140?
No. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about as of right now. I'm just talking about in general. I'm not talking about what's going on right now. I'm just saying eventually, if you want to make like to cement his career, like I would like to see him. I would like to see him fight T.O. and Devin, just because I can't stand them too. So I would like to see him fight them. No, I'm dead serious. I can't stand them.
Listen, Devin is not fighting Tank. That's not happening. Like
Well, according to they are, according
seriously.
to them, they are.
Because
But
think about it. I feel like maybe they might fight, maybe, but I just feel like Devin will always be a weight class above Tank. And they
and we
will
can't.
never be able to make that fight on top of never really having any intentions on fighting Tank. Could you imagine
No.
if
We can't blame Devin Haney for that.
Who
what
we
do you
Let's
blame?
mean?
Why
blame
not?
Devin.
Who we blame?
Who we blame, Teach?
I gotta blame Tank's team.
How?
How, Teach?
They never ever reached out when they were at 135.
The only time they could have ever reached
He
out
was
is
at
when they
top
did reach
rank,
out.
and then the man was in jail.
When he was in
Let's
Yeah,
jail,
be
he
but
got
honest.
out. Remember when they was having Happy Thanksgiving and saying that his mom and dad was low down scums and whatnot, and then he was about to get out. They went radio silent. They went out
and,
there and they discussed terms of a possible fight. You know what they told him? Nah, we gonna go up there and go in a different direction.
and no
That was the
time
only
before that.
Hold
time
on,
that
y'all. Hold on. I'm about to. Y'all keep talking, but give me a second. I'm about to research something real quick because
I'm
I
gonna tell
gotta
you what's
kill this narrative real quick.
Yeah,
that's a
I
bet.
heard
That's a bet.
that Stephen Espinoza reached out to Devin Haney, and Devin Haney wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, but you could also say that what was Steven Espinosa telling the truth? Like
Why
I
was
don't know if
Stephen
they
Espinoza lying?
has to though, because he was like a CEO or he was a VP in a publicly traded company. He can't
Yeah,
just lie. He has to report the facts.
exactly.
yeah, I
And the
don't
thing
yeah.
was,
Steven Espinosa said that. He
no, but
said that, but I don't know.
it was on Twitter as well. He messaged out to Twitter because Devin Haney was kept calling out Tank, and then Stephen Espinoza a message and says, if you want to make the fight happen, we can sort this out. And then Devin
So
Haney was like, "What? Why are you getting involved for?" And Devin Haney got angry.
I saw Steven Espinosa said that in an interview. So I heard him say that. But like how
Yeah,
do I know? It's like he said
I
it without like a certainty.
I hear you too, Teach. I'm gonna say this. I don't think the fight would have been made anyway because Devin had spent 3 fights already too long in that division. He couldn't fight again, and he dang sure can't fight a Tank at no 135. That's not going to ever become competitive.
But
So I really didn't want to fight.
Listen here, Thomas, right? Okay. If I want to fight with you and I know you're not available for the fight next, what do? I reach out to you saying I want to fight in the future, right? And you make availability. Isn't that how it works?
No, not if you don't really want the fight.
And that's what I'm saying. Like their team never reached out to make anything happen.
They did reach out to them and they said, this is what Steven Espinoza
I mean,
said.
when they
We're
reached
talking
out.
about the same interview. Steven Espinoza said we reached out and they said we're going in a different direction. They were going to fight Regis.
Mm-hmm.
And then Devin Haney dropped his goals for the year. And they ain't had nothing to do with Tank Davis. And also on top of that, let me throw this out here. Shakur Stevenson has been asked several times if he could make any fight he want to make or who he want to fight next. He never mentions Tank. It's Loma. And most recently, it was somebody else he said when they asked him who he want to fight. Floyd Schofield. They talking about everybody but Tank Davis. And nobody wants to acknowledge that. They just want to blame Tank. And listen, I'm just here to give my 2 cents and point out the facts. The fact is, Shakur Stevenson is no longer, after the butt naked video, he's no longer saying Tank Davis name.
The butt naked.
What
My man
Tank
out
need to
here
do is
making
go ahead and
R&B
clear out
hits.
135 and go up there to 140. Cause Devin ain't got nowhere to run after this, bro. You think he finna run up there with Boots and Brian Norman? He's
and that's
not.
why and Supreme Cam, don't mean to cut you off.
Nah, go ahead.
What is really next? I guess we're gonna get on the Devin talk. What is really next for Devin Haney? Because can he really make 140? And if he
can't make 140, it don't look like
who is
he
gonna
got like
fight?
one more fight. How do you have 2 fights at 140 and now you barely making 140?
Hey, that's his problem.
How your second fight at 140 and they say Ryan Garcia weight drainer?
That's Devin problem. His dad got him in that shit.
And he came
His
in here
dad
and
got him into that shit.
what they saying.
Hey, I'm just here. Oh yeah, you definitely can say something. Go Teach. Go ahead.
Quickly. I just want to say, I'm definitely not hating on Tank. Tank is my second favorite fighter. I just don't like how his team moves. That's it.
Fair enough. I mean, people got their opinions. I got my opinions. 2 Cent got his opinions. Got her opinions. Everybody has their opinions. But I don't like Devin Haney. I don't like Bill Haney. And I don't care what opinions I have. I don't like them. And I don't like them. I hate their fans. I hate everything about them. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to say this. I'm just here for 2 cents to give her 2 cents because 2 cents you can spend. But
2 Cents, what do you think about Bill Haney?
Oh, he just cut me off.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I actually thoroughly enjoy Bill Haney. I think that he's very entertaining. The issue I have with Bill Haney though is the capping and the manipulation that he does. But it's not his fault. It's the people that believe him fault. Like y'all gotta understand when Bill is entertaining and when Bill is being serious. When Bill comes out and says, Ryan Garcia, you got 48 hours to enter Nevada, it's just for show. Because what makes you think that Ryan Garcia is ever going to deal with VADA again? Number one. Number two, what makes you think I'm about to enter into VADA and pay for this testing like this shit is cheap when we ain't even in no negotiations for no contract or nothing? And number three, what makes Bill Haney think that Ryan Garcia needs Devin Haney for anything?
Thank you.
He don't need Devin Haney for no rematch. Like, let's keep it a buck. Devin Haney needs Ryan Garcia, period. He needs him for his name to be rebuilt. He needs him to get another payday. Like, let's keep it a buck, y'all. Like, let's be for real. And then you got these content creators running around here. Oh, Devin Haney was doing Liam Paro a favor. Like, Devin Haney ain't got no belt. He no longer has no leverage. Like, let's be for real, y'all. Like, stop the cap. Like, let's just stop the cap. And listen, whatever everybody hustle is, that's cool. I think Bill Haney's good for boxing. I think Bill Haney is a great promoter. I think Bill Haney needs more fighters he can cap for and promote because it's what's
No,
missing in boxing. Like he's like a modern day Don King, in my opinion, right?
he's
But
yeah.
but it's just about the fans being able to separate when he's being entertaining and when he's being serious. Sometimes I believe Bill Haney has a point. Like I get it, we need to clean up the sport and this and that, but not this is not how we go about doing it, because you're trying to make it seem as if the only reason why Devin Haney lost is because of the eye stream, and it's hard to really state your honest opinion about the Ryan Garcia situation because how dumb Ryan Garcia is and how ignorant he is. And now every time you say anything, it's like, oh, you defending a racist, when I'm not defending a racist, I'm just calling out the facts. If you look at the numbers based on all the evidence presented, Ryan Garcia had an amount of ostarine in his system that was correlated with supplements being tainted. Like that's what it was. You cannot definitively say that if Ryan Garcia wasn't on ostarine, he wouldn't have won the fight, because I went around YouTube for months saying that Devin Haney was going to beat that Ryan Garcia was going to beat Devin Haney, and it was a bad style matchup. They tried to laugh me off the internet. Oh, you just think Ryan cute. Oh, you got a crush on Ryan Garcia. And I'm like, listen, y'all, I've been following Ryan Garcia his whole career. There's no way Devin Haney's going to have an answer for that left hook. He drop his hand. He dip to the right. He do all of these things. I had technical analysis on why I thought Ryan Garcia would beat Devin Haney. It was just a bad style matchup. But it's hard to say that now because of all the dumb shit that Ryan Garcia has done. But as far as Bill Haney goes, I think he's great for the sport. It was a little
No,
dry
no, no,
when
no,
he
no,
was
no,
gone.
no, 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 no. That
Now that he back,
lawsuit lost points with me. That lawsuit lost points with me.
I don't have a problem with the lawsuit as far as him suing Golden Boy, feeling like they owe him money. It's the battery I have a problem with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if anybody
That's
want to
what.
get their 2 cents about that, y'all go ahead.
No, I mean, I'll say every time I get off the phone real quick, but yeah, it's the battery, the assault and battery. You can't do that, and that's why I said Bill Haney can let him stop coaching, let him promote. He's not a good boxing coach. I don't care what anybody says. Let him promote and let him do that. But the lawsuit, assault and battery, nah, that's a no, and that just make me not like him anymore. Because that makes Devin look bad. I like Devin. I don't like his dad. But I'm peace to you guys. I'm about to get ready for bed and shit. But
lay it down, baby boy. Lay it down.
Yeah,
all right.
we about to close out. I've been on here about 3 hours. Listen, I appreciate y'all staying on here with me tonight. Cooking. Normally I go on from 5 to 7 today. Today I did a later live. I had what's going on with my son and his boxing tournament tonight. I'm gonna go around the panel and let everybody get off their final 2 cents. Dragon Assassin, what you want to close us out with?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the panel. Salute to everybody on the chat. Shout out to Big Supreme, Ant McQueen, again, Dean by any means for calling the Beterbiev fight. I got it right, so salute on that. And yeah, 2 cents, keep up the good work, man. And respect to everybody in the chat. Peace.
Thank you. Thomas Hill, what you got?
Look, I'm gonna end off with these words because my man Big Dog Willie said it, so I'm gonna coin it a different way. Everybody got their opinion. 2 cents got their opinion. I got their opinion. Let me just stop it right there. 2 cents give her 2 cents, and you can actually spend that. You can spend that anywhere. Opinions get spinned. And my man Devin Haney, his dad, he be spinning some hell of opinions, but it is very entertaining. So shout out to that guy. And shout out to him being a coach or a trainer and getting his son to undisputed. That is an accomplishment all in itself. And shout out to the chat. Shout out to the panel. It was a fire show. And shout out to 2 cents being tipsy and putting on a good show. I like that.
All right. Teach, what you got for the show? For the closeout.
Right. Fire panel as always. Various topics discussed. I had fun discussing them with you guys on the panel. Had fun watching the chat. Salute to Cash Crypto. I see him giving me smoke. And yeah, let's do this again next week. Can't wait.
Absolutely. I'll be back Friday night at about 6:30 p.m. Y'all can come back and join me. Thank you, Teach, for coming up. Supreme Cam, close us out. What you got?
2 cents. Appreciate you for having me on the show. Appreciate everybody who gave me a conversation tonight. And just keep spitting. Cause you be on here spitting. And anybody who ain't tuning in need to tune in. So anytime you want to listen to some real boxing talk, listen to 2 cents boxing. That's all I got for y'all tonight.
Hey, Supreme Cam, put something in the chat so I can rinse you up.
That's a bet.
All right. Listen, I had a good time tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining me. 2 cents boxing, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. If you don't want to be worried about the content creator cutting you off all in the videos, timing you out, blocking you from the channel, come on over here to 2 cents boxing, where everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I had a good time tonight. I want to thank all my new people for stopping by. And if you haven't already, be sure to punch that like and subscribe button. We talked about a lot of topics tonight. We talked about the Beterbiev Bivol controversy. Who will fight them next? We talked about the Benavidez Morrell fight. Is the fight actually ready? Some people say it is. Some people say Morrell got a good shot at winning the fight. Shout out to Big Supreme, who has low-key become my co-host of the show. I appreciate him every time he comes on the show. We talked about Terence Crawford. Is he really ducking the smoke at 154 pounds? Is this another strategic move by Crawford ducking the Fedor fight? Or is he really just focused on the Canelo fight? Y'all know my 2 cents about the situation. If he really wants the Canelo fight only or retire, drop the belt. Stop holding up the division. Stop waiting on the opportunity to get an easy fight for those belts. Listen, I've been watching Crawford for years. I don't say this stuff lightly, but I want everybody to watch and see what his next moves are and see if I'm right or see if I'm wrong. We talked about Gervonta Tank Davis. Is he ducking the smoke? Is everybody else ducking the smoke? We don't know. We just gonna have to wait and see. But the thing that a lot of people don't understand is the business of boxing, and it's the business of a boxing preventing a lot of these fights. Some people brought up Turkey Al-Sheikh. Is Turkey Al-Sheikh blocking Gervonta Tank Davis? Listen, if you're listening to the replay of this live, let me know and drop it below your 2 cents. What's up with Turkey? What's up with Tank? What's going on over there? Are they trying to force Tank to do business with him? Are they trying to force Tank over there to get the fights that he wants? What's going on with Al Heyman? Somebody came in my chat and said Al Heyman had a heart attack. Listen, shout out to Al Heyman. Al, if you had a heart attack, hopefully you have a speedy recovery and you're able to get back to the business of boxing to get PBC back on their feet. We do understand they're in the rebuilding phase. They got a new deal with Amazon Prime. Things are new. We're trying to get stuff together. But we hope Al a speedy recovery so you can get back to this boxing and we can get things in order. We talked about Shakur Stevenson. Is Shakur Stevenson really ducking the smoke with Gervonta Tank Davis? Did he run over there to the Eddie Hearn protection program? Is it really a protection program? Because Eddie Hearn does not have a good track record so far with his fighters. His fighters have been getting their ass whooped just to keep it a buck. We got to keep it a buck. Listen, you can always support the channel by punching that like and subscribe button. or you can always hit me in the Cash App at 2 Cents Boxing. And remember, I'm Jay, and this is our 2 Cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. I had an absolute wonderful time on the panel. Big Dog Willie, Big Supreme, Supreme Cam, Thomas Hill, Dragon Assassin, Teach. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you to everybody in the chat that joined me tonight. Definitely appreciated the build and the conversation. Listen, share this video with some of your friends. Let them know 2 Cents Boxing is the most underrated channel on these YouTube streets. And let them know, if you don't want your content creator all in the videos, all on the panel cutting you off, blocking you, sending you to the shadow realm for your opinion, come to 2 Cents Boxing. We don't do that over here. Again, thank you for joining 2 Cents Boxing, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And you can catch me in the next live.
Y'all, man. 2 Cents be on point. She be on point, bro.
Appreciate it.
Blonde,
Appreciate
it.
it.
Talking facts. Like, you the first one to say it.